Hi everyone, Stacy here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. So today we're going to talk about Neptune moving through the sign of Aries and what that could mean for each and every one of us over the next 14 years or so. Now, before I dive into all 12 signs, I just want to take a quick opportunity to thank each and every one of you for liking my content, sharing out my content, and subscribing to my channel. I appreciate each and every one of you for doing so. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy and grateful that you stumbled across my YouTube channel or one of my YouTube videos. Whatever the case may be, I am happy that you found your way to me. Also, keep in mind, these are general readings. I cannot stress that enough with all of my videos here on YouTube land. So keep in mind, I do not have your personal birth chart sitting in front of me. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one and have that personal consultation, you can get in touch with me on my website, and I'll be sure to put the link to that in the description box below. Otherwise, I do use Western tropical astrology, and I do use a whole sign house system. So as always, take what resonates in these videos and leave the rest. I do encourage you to watch for your rising sign. I think that would resonate with you the most, but I can appreciate not all of you watching this video right now probably knows what your rising sign is. So certainly watch for your sun sign, your moon sign, or any other planet placement or point that you have, and you could bring all this information together for you to give you a high level overview of what to expect over the next 14 years or so. So Neptune takes approximately 12 to 14 years to move through each and every zodiac sign. His orbit is very erratic, so it is difficult to pinpoint. Similar to Pluto and Uranus, it's not an exact science, but it is an approximate time frame. Now, Neptune is a generational planet similar to Uranus and Pluto, and these planets represent the collective bodies, so to speak. Now, Neptune does take 165 years to go around the entire zodiac, so we won't experience a full cycle of Neptune as of yet. As I'm recording this in 2025, who knows, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the line, we'll live to be the age of 165. You never know. But for now, we only experience kind of the halfway point of Neptune, of course, depending on when we decide to transition over, right? So when these big heavy hitters, I call them, or the outer planets shift into brand new territory, brand new energy, brand new signs, they foreshadow brand new incoming generational shifts and these incoming brand spanking new collective energies as well. So Neptune is the Lord of the seas. He rules over all of the oceans on the planet. He also rules over dreams and fantasy and visions and illusions and escapism and magic and compassion and the unseen realms. Where we have Neptune in our natal birth charts is actually where we dream the biggest. We reach for the stars, so to speak, but it's also where we can get confused pretty quickly, actually. And what's that saying, you know, get the wool pulled over our eyes? That's kind of where the Neptune area of our life, where that can happen sometimes over and over and over again. But again, there's a reason for this and a purpose for this. Also, anything to do with spirituality or mysticism or anything like that, or religion, look to your Neptune as well. This is where it's going to depend on where Neptune is sitting in your chart. What sign is he sitting in? What house is he sitting in? And how is he supported, or not supported for that matter, from other planets, placements, points, or angles of your personal birth chart? So Neptune rules over Pisces. He's the modern ruler of Pisces. So Pisces has two rulers. He is co-ruled by Jupiter and also modern energy of Neptune. Also, Neptune is connected with the 12th house of the zodiac wheel as well. So the 12th house is also about endings, more so of a focus on endings, dissolving what no longer needs to be in our lives so we can move on to something brand new. For example, this is about letting go. This is about spirituality and awakenings, places that are hidden, people, places, things that are hidden. This is about cleaning out the closets. This is about solitude, healing, and also can be an area of life that recognizes our hidden gifts, talents, and abilities as well. Now, Neptune moving into this Aries energy. So what I want you to do is kind of get a feeling. I should have said that in the beginning. Kind of feel these in your body. So I'm trying to get you to feel into Neptune, lean into Neptune, and then lean into this Aries energy to kind of give you an idea of how these two are going to be coming together for us. Again, this is a long transit for the next 14 years or so. So Aries energy is very spontaneous, very direct, blunt, to the point type of energy. It's the warrior of the zodiac, right? So it's all about moving forward with great force, with great action. Wherever we have Aries in our birth chart is where we just want to dive in head first. We don't think, we don't pump the brakes. It's just go for it in that specific area of life. So obviously very dynamic energy when it comes to Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, action-oriented Mars, and also Aries is the I am. So this is the very first zodiac of all of the 12 houses, zodiac wheel, whatever you want to call it. So this is about brand new beginnings. And I'm going to say it right now, you guys, this is the time to create the life that we really want. But it's a 14-year transit, so no need to, rush. And then with Saturn moving in here as well, it's all systems go. It's time to create the reality and the dreams and the existence of what we truly want and what we truly desire. Now, when I was kind of leaning into this energy and tuning into this energy, this is just my 2 cents, you guys. First of all, my team, my spiritual team that I lean on, they showed me a couple things. So the first thing they showed me is over the next 14 years, again, and this is not going to happen by the billions and zillions, but there might be a few false prophets that come to our reality or come into our existence or whatever the case may be. Because again, Neptune, think disillusionment, think illusion, magic, the magician, right? Aries is a extremely brave cardinal energy, like busting through those doors and breaking free and saying, here I am, standing up on my pedestal. So that's one thing they kind of showed me is there might be a few like false leaders, they're telling me, like false leaders when it comes to spirituality or religion or metaphysical or day to day. Like this could be CEOs, CFOs, leaders of countries. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but you know what I mean? Like that's one thing that they kind of showed me. Another thing they showed me is they showed me a square metal box because Mars quite literally rules metal and anything sharp, like sharp objects. So they showed me this square 3-dimensional box and I could see all like the rivets and the metal was new and shiny and all that stuff. So instead of speaking to me, they showed me, again, this is so Neptunian, the symbology, the artistry of this box and what it's going to turn into. So they showed me different realities and different possibilities. So in one reality, the corners of the box were shaved off somehow, like totally shaved off. In another reality, the box turned into a perfect sphere, like a perfect shiny circle. In another reality, the box completely dissolved. Like it was just no longer there. The energy presence was there, but it was just, you couldn't see it with the physical human eye anymore. So I hope that kind of, I know I'm talking in weird terms. Some of you probably don't get this, but I was trying to kind of paint you a picture of what to, again, lean into or feel when it comes to Neptune moving into Aries, because this is a very, like Neptune, you can't taste, touch, feel. It's like the wind, coming into form. So how is that going to look in 14 years? And what area of life is this going to manifest for each and every one of us? Also, another thing they showed me is hopefully this will make us, meaning the collective, think twice about what we reach for to solve problems. So, for example, reaching for weapons, for example. Like, can we do other things than that? Are there other ways that we can solve our issues. Because again, Aries is that very passionate warrior spirit, right? And the Neptune is trying to bring in something different into this area of life to help us out. Okay, so what to expect during a Neptune transit? So yes, Neptune can be extremely foggy and confusing to deal with. Life might become out of focus during a Neptune transit. And again, depending on what Neptune is exactly transiting in your personal birth chart, we'll get into all 12 signs in a few minutes here. But his cycles are described as evolving spiritually in some way, shape, or form. This is like an awareness or an awakening. And again, when I say spirituality, tailor that to your life. Whatever your belief systems are, that's what Neptune represents in our birth charts. So the way forward is not necessarily clear, but Neptune is asking you to step into the unknown with him and walk a path that is not clear and straight or carefully thought out, which is going to drive some people nuts. I know I'm one of them, right? This is where it comes down to your personal birth chart. But the journey always leads us to a place that we absolutely need to visit in order for our own evolutionary growth. And again, it's usually tied to a bigger reason or a bigger purpose. You know, think of Neptune as something or someone bigger than us humans. Like, it's not a human transit, so we can't think of it as a human transit. This is like going beyond the box, beyond outside of the box. It's, I guess you can call it a divination transit or a divine transit. And Neptune asks us to just have trust and have faith during these transit, which I know, you guys, I'm eating my own words here because it's tough. It's very tough sometimes, right? Also, a Neptune transit, think of it as, well, he rules over he's the lord of the oceans, the lord of the seas. So think of the tides coming in and the tides going out. So the tides come in and they bring us gifts and treasures and blessings, and I could go on and on. Love, you know, he's the higher octave of Venus as well. So he can bring in incredible gifts, incredible things into our lives. But he teaches us not to get too attached to these things, right? Because the sea, as we all know, can take things away just as fast, right? Blink of an eye. Also, I like this example. I don't know about you, but this happens to me all the time when I'm going through Neptune transit, which I'm going through right now, is, you know, pretend you're in a house, in your house, not in a house, but your place of living, and you storm down the hallway, you go into your bedroom or something like that, and you're like, what did I come in here for? Right? How many times have you done that? Or am I the only one that experiences that? Because I'm spacey. But that is Neptune. You know, that's Neptune. We walk into a room and we're like, what was I going to get again? Or you walk into the kitchen. What did I come in here for? And then you walk away and then you remember and you're like, oh my God, yeah, that's Neptune. That's another way to explain Neptune as well. Also, during a Neptune transit, speaking of that, forgetfulness is quite common. Again, depending on the transit, but you know, forgetfulness is definitely a big thing with Neptune as well. He likes that. Or what I always say, you know, to people when I make a mistake or if I'm working with clients or whatever, my day job, I say, yeah, I'm sharp as a marble. You know, that's also a Neptune transit, you know, especially when you have Neptune transit, your Mercury. I'm going through that right now. Oh yeah, sharp as a marble right here. Like, it's just, I love saying that. I've been saying that for years now. But again, there's a reason for that though. Neptune is not, I'm not painting Neptune with a bad paintbrush or Aries energy with a bad paintbrush. I forgot to mention that in my last slide. It's just, this is the energy Neptune and Aries brings forward for us to work with. So none of this energy is good or bad. It's how we utilize this energy, basically. So all in all, during a Neptune transit, it can be extremely difficult to pinpoint the lesson, right? Again, try to pin down air. try to pin down water. It's impossible, right? It's impossible unless you have a microscope, I guess. But it's about reflecting, I think, on the lessons afterwards. Like after these transits. I'll get into some ages here and some Neptune cycles later on here in a few slides. But it's about heeding the lesson after the fact, you know, and this is what I love about astrology. If you know that if you see you're coming into a Neptune transit, I just encourage you to lean into it, and you'd be amazed about the gifts that actually do come out of these transits. Okay, so the actual dates, I have them on the right-hand side of the screen if you want to take a screenshot, or if you haven't already done so. He's going to spend most of 2025 in Aries. So starts March 30th, give or take a day or two, you guys, depending on where you are on the planet, because these dates, I think I just pulled them from a universal calendar. So March 30th to October the 21st is when he'll be in Aries. So that's a good stretch of time. So this will be brand new for us. And keep in mind also when these planets move into new energy, we're going to have this with Neptune and then Saturn and Jupiter and Uranus. The energy can be quite intense. So don't let that, I don't want anyone to think of this as fearful or, oh my God, this is the end of the world and we got to deal with this for years. No, it's always intense. Think of Pluto, right? We already went through this with Pluto hopping into Aquarius. That was March of 2023. That was pretty intense for us to try to meld through that energy. But I mean, now that he's in Aquarius, newly in Aquarius, I mean, it's not like we know exactly what he's going to bring to the table, but we get used to these energies. That's what I appreciate about these retrogrades, thank goodness, because when Neptune backs into Pisces in October of this year until January of 2026, it'll give us kind of a reprieve from all of these energies, and all of these heavy hitters will be retrograding back into their old home sign before moving permanently into their new territory in 2026. But it'll give our bodies, our souls, the energy, our nervous system to kind of adapt to these energies as well, because we feel it internally as well, whether we kind of realize it or not. Now, when Neptune backs into Pisces, just think he's wrapping up a huge cycle that began in 2012, approximately 2011, 2012. So what's been happening in the Piscean area of your life, and this is where Saturn just cruised through as well. So hopefully with Saturn and Neptune coming together, they crystallized something in this area of life. And again, we're going to talk about it when we get into all 12 signs here. So just something to reflect back on, and I will certainly remind you when the time comes, because again, this isn't till October, depending on when you're watching this video. And then he permanently, officially moves into Aries January 2026, all the way until 2039. Yes, isn't that crazy? Long transits when it comes to, you know, Neptune and Pluto for sure. Okay, the last time Neptune was in Aries was 1861 to 1875. Now I'm just going to do a trigger warning here. So if you feel sensitive right now, if you had enough of the news and all the wonderful things that are happening on the planet, skip ahead. So I got timestamps in the description box below. There we go. So just skip to the next slide and yeah, so just wanted to kind of throw it out there. Some of you probably already know what I'm going to say. If you know your history, you know what I'm going to say. So some examples. I'm not saying these are going to come to fruition. So I want to be clear here. I'm not dooming and glooming this. I'm not saying all this shit's going to happen. I'm not saying that. So I just want to be 1,000,000,000% clear. These are just examples that stood out to me, and I'm just going to scratch the surface here, you guys. I could have made an entire video on the past, but that's not my specialty. My specialty is how this applies to each and every one of us personally and how they impact us personally. Anyway, you can do your own research on this as well. Everybody has access to the internet, from my understanding nowadays. So 1861, the American Civil War began. Again, I'm not saying the exact same thing's going to happen, but I just find that interesting. 1865, the Civil War ended. And then shortly after that, President Lincoln was assassinated. So 1867, the US purchased Alaska from Russia. Again, I found that interesting because Aries is about territory, right? Again, me, 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 me. This is the I am sign. Again, I'm not painting Aries with a negative brush, but this is, again, the energy that Aries brings to the table. Also at this time, Pluto was in Taurus though. So again, that could be the connection too with property. Well, Alaska, that's big property. That's huge. 1871, the Great Chicago Fire destroyed a large portion of the city. Again, I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but it's just something that stood out to me. And 1873, there seemed to be some sort of panic or trigger of an economic depression. Now, this happened in the US, but also Europe. But I also wanted to look back to see where the other planets were in the sky, because I don't want to say this was all the fault of Neptune. So again, Pluto was in Taurus during 1861 to 1875. That would have contributed to the economic upheavals. Just think of what we've experienced with Uranus in Taurus, right? Since 2018, and we're going to experience this energy until 2025, 2026. The upheavals that happened with Uranus being in there. So can you imagine Pluto being in Taurus, right? That would have also stirred up a lot of economic stuff. Let's just put it that way. Also back then, Uranus was in Gemini. Again, Uranus is coming into Gemini as well. But Uranus was about halfway through Gemini, and then he cruised all the way through Cancer, and he was halfway through Leo from, again, 1861 to 1875. So again, you guys, I didn't even scratch the surface with this kind of stuff, because I didn't want to, again, trigger or get kicked off of YouTube or anything like that. Because again, it is what it is. We can't change the past. I am curious how this energy is going to unfold for the collective and each and every one of us. And again, it comes down to how the collective is going to utilize this energy. All of this energy has a light side, a dark side. It's humans. It's us that utilize the energy and use it in however we want to use it, right? So anyway, I encourage you to do your own research, you guys, and just food for thought, something to chew on. I'm not predicting it. And if it does come to fruition, it'll be different. It'll be quite different, because I hope in 165 years, we've changed quite a bit. Societies have changed quite a bit. Even back then, you know, think about it. We didn't have the internet, and we weren't connected to everyone by, you know, these little computers that we put in our back pocket. You know, we relied on human society a lot, where now in this society, it's very individualistic. You know, we're so independent versus way back then. So that's why I'm thinking I don't see the exact same things playing out, but, you know, I'm going to be just like you with my popcorn, and we'll kind of see what happens, right? But again, no fear, you guys. I'm not instilling fear. I just want to be 1,000,000,000% clear about that. Okay. So moving along to Neptune transits. I'm just going to talk about Neptune transiting your natal Neptune in this slide here. And you don't need your birth chart in front of you to figure this out, because I have the ages on the slide. Give or take 5 years though on either side, because again, Neptune's orbit is erratic, similar to Pluto and similar to Uranus as well. The further these guys get out in the sky, the harder it is to pinpoint exact ages, and I'll get into some examples here in a minute. So you can expect to experience about 4 major aspects in your lifetime that is usually a life-changing event that occurs, or again, a spiritual awakening, whatever that means for you, spiritual, religious, metaphysical, whatever your belief systems are, because that's what Neptune represents, and that's what these aspects are always going to have an undertone of. So they could be awakening after awakening after awakening. At the end of the day, it's Neptune, again, growing us and evolving us from a spiritual perspective, or from a bigger purpose or lens perspective. Okay, so at or around age 27, again, give or take 5 years on either side, you experience the Neptune sextile. But this is also kind of the beginning of your first Saturn return, or you could be right in the middle of your first Saturn return. So it could be a mixed bag or a mixed energy, but I'm just going to talk about the Neptunian energy in this video. At the end of the day, this is an opportunity aspect coming in. So this is an opportunity to create the life you want. All of these planets give these to us in different ways. So Neptune, again, is going to bring in just a different tool that you can use to the table. So this is about accepting help, accepting opportunity that comes your way. This is about finding your place in society, again, whatever that means to you. This is also the transit of Neptune rules escapism, right? So pick your poison: drugs, sex, alcohol, whatever. This could be about you hiding away from society or wanting to dull the mind, for example. Of course, I don't encourage that, but I want to talk about all the types of energies, because again, Neptune is so difficult to describe as it is, let alone Neptune transits. And of course, we're all going to move through these energies a little bit differently. So you might have the urge to escape around this age as well. Things might get a little tough or rough in life, right? At the end of the day, this could be also your first Saturn return. So again, you're trying to cope with that and like just walk through the energy. This is about, well, what I would recommend is find those healthy outlets, right? So find the healthy outlets, find people that you can trust and talk to help you move through this energy. And again, everyone is going to move through this differently. Where is your Neptune? How is it aspected? Which house is it in? And how is it supported or not supported in your birth chart? Now, age 42, this is double, triple whammy. Again, give or take 5 years on either side. This is where you could experience not only your Neptune square, but also your Pluto square and your Jupiter, Uranus, and Saturn oppositions as well. Now, does it happen all at the same time? Not yes or no. You know, yes or no. I'm going to give you a Neptunian answer there. Because I'll use myself as an example. I'm not 42 yet, and I am going through this energy right now. I'm going through my Pluto square. I'm going through my Neptune square. I just went through my Jupiter opposition. I'm coming up to my Uranus opposition, and I won't have my Saturn opposition for another, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years. So if you are, I'm not the only one, by the way. So if you are born around 1980, to 1985, we're all going through this together. Now, that's just an example. So this is a huge turning point, usually in your life in some way, shape, or form. And again, each of these planets, Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, Uranus, Jupiter, are going to bring something different to the table, a new lens, a new angle, a new tool, a new way of looking at life, and what ultimately lights you up from the inside out and the new direction. It's almost like thinking of a new path that suddenly just opens up in your life. It's kind of like you jump on it. You want to go for it. I'm not saying everyone is going to change their life around this age, but the signatures in the chart are so strong. I'd be surprised if people wouldn't start changing their life or lifestyle at or around, again, 36, 37, all the way to 45. That's how long these transits you could experience this for. So again, similar behaviors could come up, like what we talked about with around age 27. So similar things could happen. However, again, they're going to play out differently because again, between ages of 27 and 42-ish, you know, hopefully you've grown and learned from those lessons, right? And if you haven't, you might be tested with new situations or new circumstances with kind of a similar underlying tone, for example. And again, this is going to play out differently for everyone. This could also be about belief systems. Again, whatever that means for you: faith, belief, compassion, having compassion for other people, how you've been living your life so far. Do you want to turn around your circumstances? Do you want to change your life? Common examples around this age again, I'm picking on my age group here. You know, a relationship could end, right? Or in Neptune's words, a relationship could dissolve, because Neptune can do that as well. There could be disappointments around this time. You know, this is a square after all, so this isn't flowing harmonious energy. It's going to make you take action on something or someone, or the veil is going to come down, right? So disappointments with relationships, with family, with friends, with a loved one, with a mentor, with someone that we had up on a pedestal. So whoever that is, you fill in the blank, right? That could be the example. And suddenly something happens and you see them for who they truly are. That's a Neptunian transit. So again, everyone's going to come into this, lean into this a little bit differently. But ultimately at this age in particular, this Neptune square, he is dissolving what is no longer needed and helping you in your life to rebuild something. And again, it's usually about belief systems and looking at life, looking at your situation, looking at you in the mirror in a new shiny light, basically. And again, you gather up all these experiences that you've learned since, you know, in your 20s, and you put them in your back pocket, and then you carry them with you into the next transit. Ultimately, this is the transit that gives you that additional backbone. So by this age, if you haven't grown a backbone, so to speak, this is going to instill that in your life. And again, this is not a light switch. I would say this is a good decade-long transit with all these pileup of planetary aspects that are coming together in your personal birth chart. But yeah, you definitely grow incredibly stronger after all of these transits. And again, it's not a doom and gloom thing, you guys. I'm not trying to doom and gloom this. I'm in the middle of this right now. Is it hard? Yeah. But I know it's there. Thanks to astrology, I know it's there. So when I have a hard day, when I have a Debbie Downer day or not a good day, I know it's just, I got to move through the motions and I got to get out of bed and do my thing every day. You know, it's not going to be forever, and I know it's going to end. And that's the gift that astrology brings, is it gives us that light at the end of the tunnel, like, hey, I'm just moving through the motions. I'm not alone. My entire generational people, collective, are going through this, and it's time to change my life. It's time to get off the hamster wheel and do something a little bit different. Okay, moving into now on or around approximately age 55, this is the Neptune trine. So this is a very beautiful, harmonious energy coming in. I call this let go, let God, surrender. Or again, you fill in the blank. If you don't believe in God, fill in the blank. Whoever it is, it's a higher power that steps in around this age or encourages you to kind of lean into that around this age. This is about a time, you know, you make peace. You know, you're not the go-getter that you once were at, you know, 27 or 25 years old. So it's about making peace with those things that just didn't come into fruition. And that's okay. They can still come to light. You know, life doesn't end at 55, even though, yeah, your second Saturn return is also knocking at this time. So this is about letting go, but maybe shifting the energy into something new. Again, energy doesn't die. So how are you going to mutate it into something new that's going to work for you, that's going to light you up from the inside out? Also during this transit, it's about coming to terms where you are here and now. You might want to give back in some way. I actually encourage you to do that around this age, especially at the trine, because you'll have that compassionate lens to you, and you'll want to give back to your community, or become a teacher, a mentor, a coach, or give back to your family or grandchildren, or again, you fill in the blank. Any sort of humanitarian effort that you support or that lights you up. Also, yeah, did I say give back in your career? Yeah, also it could be giving back in your career, mentoring the young bucks that are up and coming in your industry. So it could be about that as well. Also, a really nice time, again, you're going to hear me say it over and over again, dive into religion, spirituality, metaphysical stuff, anything that, again, whatever your belief system calls you to do, I suggest you to lean into that, because there's a reason for that. Traveling is incredible around this age, by the way, too. Well, the Neptune trine, I should say, not this age, but the Neptune trine. If you can travel, whether local or global, lean into that, because I think you, again, it's going to be an eye-opening experience for you in more ways than one. Diving into your creativity, that's what Neptune rules as well. Painting, art, music, whatever the case may be. Excellent time to utilize the Neptune trine. Or if you haven't already done so at this point, building a self-care practice, taking care of you and your physical body, really beneficial time. This is about connecting to something bigger than yourself. So this could be a higher spiritual calling, or again, a calling to give back in some way, shape, or form. So I definitely encourage you to lean into that. You might crave that. I would suggest don't ignore that. Like, definitely lean into that. I think you'd be surprised what comes out of that. And then age 82, again, approximately, this is your Neptune opposition, which is on the heels of a Uranus return, which happens at around 84, and you're coming into your third Saturn return at or around this age as well. So again, you could be inspiring other people. You are literally, hopefully by this age, you are that wise elder passing down the knowledge. Also, they're showing me it's not even about, like, even if you can't speak at this age, I'm not saying you won't be able to speak, but they're showing me this might not be about speaking, but this is about imagery, again, artwork, things like that you can pass down. It ties into kind of the legacy that you want to leave behind, and compassionate, right? Compassion is a big thing that Neptune also brings to the table. Again, softening those sharp edges, what I was talking about earlier. Think of the square metal box turning into a circular object, right? It's about softening those sharp edges and bringing forward more of the love and compassion that we're able to give, and having compassion to humankind, our fellow peers as well. But again, at this age, again, there's still lessons to learn. Mental, physical challenges are usually at the forefront. Acceptance, again, Neptune transits are all about acceptance. Belief systems are very critical at this time as well. And we must accept that the body decomposes, you know. They're showing me also at this age, Neptune starts dissolving the brain. But then that just means that, okay, the logical might go by the wayside, but that doesn't mean the spiritual angle is not there, right? That's the beauty that Neptune can bring in that other planets like Saturn and Uranus can't, right? Especially Saturn. He is so logical, right? He's the elder, the great teacher, the wise old man, the old woman. But Neptune just brings an angle that we can't describe, we can't feel, we can't taste or touch or whatever, but we can sense it from a spirituality angle. That's what I love about Neptune transits. It's kind of like expect the unexpected with Uranus, but from a belief or religion angle, spirituality, metaphysical angle. And this is just another reminder of, yeah, the body decomposes, but our souls live on. Again, we can't kill energy. We can't kill our souls. They don't die, so to speak. So energy just moves along. Our souls will eventually move along. Now, I'm not saying life ends at 82. Like I said, maybe in 20, 30, 40 years, we're going to live to be 165 and we'll experience more Neptunian transits. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so if you're still with me, thank you so much. I hope you learned something new about Neptune, because again, I was just trying to give you some examples to lean into this energy. Get yourself in this energy of what to expect over the next 14 years or so. So again, reminder, watch for your sun sign, your rising sign, your moon sign, or any other planet placement or points that you want to watch for, and we will dive into all 12 signs. Hey Aries, let's talk about Neptune and the new area of life, aka you, where he's going to be working with you over the next 14 years or so. So first, let's talk about where Neptune has been since approximately 2011, 2012, Aries. Now, this is in your hidden 12th house, but Neptune loves to be in the 12th house. And on top of it, he loves to be in Pisces. So you actually got kind of what I think kind of a double whammy or double beneficial aspect of this new Neptunian transit over the past, 13, 14 years here. So the 12th house is all about preparing for a brand new cycle. If you've been following me for a while, I think I've been saying that over and over and over again in your horoscopes when I talk about Saturn and Neptune being in your hidden 12th house of Pisces. So preparing for a new cycle, this is it, Aries. This is time to launch. But again, I want you to keep in mind, this is a 14-year transit, and even Saturn moving in here, it's a 2.5, 3-year transit. So I'm not saying you have to do something today, after you're done watching this and you're like, okay, I'm going to totally change my life. Yes and no, because again, this is a slow and steady wins the race type of transit. And same with Saturn moving into your sign as well. So the 12th house is all about spirituality, spiritual growth, whatever that means for you. So when I say spirituality or spiritual awakenings, whatever, that apply that to your circumstances, your life. Maybe some of you before this transit, so before, let's say 2011, maybe you didn't believe in God or believe in the light or believe in the divine. You fill in the blank. I guarantee you with a Neptune transit, especially through the 12th house, you probably believe in something now, Aries. Again, whatever this is for you. I'm not saying, you got to go to church 24/7. Each of us would have experienced this a little bit differently with all this heavy energy moving through your 12th house. Definitely, probably multiple awakenings. Again, whatever that means for you, possibly even paranormal experiences, right? Especially if you were traveling or are like to travel, probably there could have been awakenings or epitomes or just incredible experiences as you were traveling the globe. That could be another thing as well. 12th house is also about focus or a reflection on where is your time, your energy, your love being spent, and they're showing me it goes beyond that though. Like it even goes beyond that it's just a reflection point of stopping and absorbing where you are right here, right now. You probably had a lot of those moments and maybe you even slowed down, which is a good thing, Aries. Like you're go, 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 go. And if anything, this is the transit to just stop and smell the roses. Enjoy that coffee or tea or juice or water or whatever in the morning. Enjoy a sunrise. Take that in, or a sunset or whatever if you're a night owl. So this could, I'm also feeling for you, this could be about slowing down and just appreciating and enjoying sort of the smaller, they're telling me non-tangible things in the world. So again, I know I'm kind of mixing the first and the 12th house here, but 12th house is also about solitude. So I have no doubt you've craved that over the past several years. Dreams could have been extra vivid over the past, again, 12 years or so. Extremely, if you're dream journaling or if you work with patients or clients that do past life regression, excellent transit for that as well with Neptune moving through that 12th house. Also, 12th house is your hidden gifts, talents, and abilities. This is about Neptune and Saturn, for that matter, cleaning out your 12th closet, so to speak. So it's kind of like you're starting brand new, you're starting fresh, and nothing is holding you back, literally, like physically, but also emotionally, psychologically, mentally, and all of the above. They're showing me, like they're showing me, again, dimensional, how do I even say this, put this into words, like past lives, like cleaning up past lives, cleaning up past dimensions, whatever you believe in. It's like bigger than just cleaning out the cobwebs. It's just totally scrubbing every cell of your body and all the old dying cords that are coming out of you that just no longer suit you. And now, Aries, you can finally lean into this energy with it coming into your first house. So what is the first house? Well, this is all about you. This is all about the I am house. This is your physical appearance could go through changes over the next, again, 14 years or so. This is your identity, however you identify with something. So some people it's the career, some people it's through their children or family, or again, something to do with community. So for those of you like spiritual based religion communities, things like that, whatever you identify with, you fill in that blank, that probably will go through some sort of change in some way, shape, or form. This is also your body, by the way. So not only your physical appearance, but the health and well-being of the body as well. You might actually notice your body over the next several years very sensitive, extremely sensitive. So maybe I'm thinking even for you, maybe food sensitivities might come up. That might be Neptune moving into your second house. Might be getting ahead of myself, but I'm feeling that for you too, Aries, like food sensitivities could be coming to the foreground. Also, they're showing me like, what do you call those? Like vaccinations and stuff. You might become sensitive to those as well in a not so good way. But again, I'm not here to preach or anything like that. I'm not against vaccinations. I mean, it is what it is, right? But they're showing me like your arm getting poked and you might actually react. You might start reacting to vaccinations now, right? I'm just throwing it out there. Or I'm just throwing out examples, by the way, Aries. So again, apply this to your circumstance and it depends on what you're watching for as well. First house, anything that happens in the first house, this is any big major life theme, life cycles, because the first house, the 7th house, the 10th house, and the 4th house are huge life areas for us. So anything that dives into these houses could impact all areas of life, Aries. So this could be about your career. This could be about your relationships. This could be about home, family, foundation, your place of living, quite literally, or ancestry, or your connection to your ancestors. Also, how you approach life. I have a feeling Neptune is going to change your lenses. It's almost like changing out glasses or contacts, right? Neptune's definitely going to change how you view the world and how the world views you. So if this is your rising sign, that's a good example of something's going to change about your image. Again, whatever you connect to the most, through your family, through your partnerships, through your business, through retirement, humanitarian efforts, you apply this to your, whatever you pour most of your energy into. This is about how you present yourself to the world, how the world sees you or perceives you, and all major life themes and experiences. That's the rising sign. And again, quite literally the physical body. So something could be changing here as well. If it's your sun sign, this is about your career. And I can appreciate not all of you are working. Okay, so again, apply this. What do you do day to day? What do you do 9 to 5? What do you like? Do you take care of animals or pets or watch the grandkids, or do you walk dogs, or do you volunteer at the shelter? Like, what do you do? That would be part of your sun sign. But your sun signs also are vitality. So again, this is where health and well-being comes in, and Neptune might ask you to change something about how you're taking care of the body. Now, the good thing about Neptune, he can dissolve. He can dissolve, well, he dissolves anything he comes into contact with. So I'm not saying, Aries, you're going to dissolve into thin air. You know, I mean, maybe some of you will, depending on your age, right? This is a 14-year transit. I'm not saying you're going to die, though, okay? Neptune's, yeah, that's another conversation that I don't know if Neptune is really involved in, to be honest. But he is helping you get rid of something that's just not working in this area of life. So again, it could be career, could be something to do with the ego, the self-expression, again, your health, vitality, the body. Also, the sun represents our father figures as well. So father or male figures in our life, there could be some changes there. If it's your moon sign, this is about your emotional body. This is about feelings. This is about feeling at home and security. Where do you feel safe and secure? The moon sign can also be about the mother or female figures in your life as well, Aries. Now, what I wanted to also mention is the conjunction energy. So you are the only zodiac sign that is experiencing this as a conjunction, or anybody with Aries planets, placements, points. So conjunctions can be very confusing at first. So I just want to throw that out there. Again, if you watch the beginning of my video, I kind of described what Neptune brings to the table. And yeah, he's very tricky, not tricky, but he puts like a veil over our face. We don't see straight with Neptune. It's about dreamland and inspiration and fantasy and magic and the magician and like woo-woo stuff. And just think of, again, pinning down air. How do you pin down air or water? So these conjunctions can be confusing when he first makes contact with whatever you're watching for. But it's a new beginning. Whenever a planet comes into contact with another planet, this is neutral energy. So this is not good, it's not bad. It's however you use the energy, Aries. So this could be new beginnings. Well, this is huge new beginnings, big insights, usually from a spiritual lens. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Awakenings, launches, and this is a merging or a fusing of the two energies coming together, which we talked about, whether it's your sun, your moon, your rising, and taking action on something in this area of life, Aries. Otherwise, enjoy this transit, Aries. Again, a very long transit, so pace yourself and give yourself grace, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Taurus, let's talk about the new area of life that Neptune will be transiting over the next 14 years. So I want you to keep that in mind, Taurus, as I'm yakking away here, because this is not an overnight success. This is not one or done. This is a 14-year transit. And also, Taurus, some of you might not even notice this transit. I'm going to be honest with you, because Neptune, first of all, loves being in the 12th house. But it's a quieter transit. So you are one of the signs that will experience this energy. It's kind of like white noise in the background, and sometimes the volume will get turned up. So you'll really hear the static, or I should say feel something, or the volume is going to be turned down so low you won't even notice. You won't even notice anything, you know, for years and years and years. Now, with that said, if you have anything in Aries, that would be a different conversation. But again, I'm just going to focus on whatever you're watching for right now, your sun, your moon, your rising, or anything else that you have in Taurus. First, let's chat about where Neptune has been since 2011, 2012. So this is where Neptune's wrapping up a bigger cycle in your 11th house. So the 11th house, Taurus, is about older siblings, if you have any older siblings. 11th house is about the future. So I bet Neptune has kind of softened your lens a little bit about your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, or I have no doubt they went through a huge shift over the past several years, over a decade, with Neptune being in this 11th house. 11th house is also about friendship circles, community, people that you surround yourself with. This is professional associations. This is unions. This is just groups of people that you're affiliated with or connected with. That could have also went through some disillusionment over the last several years, meaning maybe friendships fell away or groups of people fell away and you took on or brought in some new people in your life that's more kind of on your wavelength from an energetic standpoint. So again, I'm throwing out examples, Taurus, so take what resonates, leave the rest. Also your role with your friendship circles, unions, groups, professional affiliations, whatever you want to call it. I bet you, I'm guessing, I should say, I'm not going to bet anything, but your role has probably changed too with these affiliations, these groups of people that you hang out with as well. Also, did you get opportunity coming in from these groups and affiliations or from an older sibling, for example? Because this would have made sextile opportunities to you, Taurus, since, again, 2011, 2012, when Neptune first dived in here. 11th house is also the house of gains, usually from the 10th house, but again, you fill in the blank. However it is that you make a living, earn a living, maybe some of you retired during this time period. I can appreciate not all of us are working. So again, what does gains mean to you? Or maybe Neptune dissolved some gains. So again, maybe you shifted careers. Maybe you pivoted into something new, again, changing your income structure, or maybe you retired altogether. That could be a possibility as well. Somehow your income or gains might have changed over the past several years. Now, also 11th house is what lifts you up and supports you up. So did some of you dive into metaphysical stuff? Did you get more interested in spirituality? Or did you have some sort of spiritual awakening with Neptune making these transits to your sun, your rising, your moon, whatever you're watching for? Again, Neptune is big on spirituality, whatever your belief systems are. Could have also went through some change or even some transition, or again, some benefits coming in to whatever lights you up. Now, this 12th house, hidden 12th house, again, like I said, quieter transit. Some of you might feel this, some of you won't. But this is about Taurus now, a very long transit of preparing for a brand new cycle. So that's what Neptune is going to be doing for you. The focus with Neptune being in the 12th house, this is about scrubbing you clean. Because now what he is preparing you for is when Neptune dives into your sign. And I know I'm getting way ahead of myself here. Because depending on your age, right? Like this is 14 years out. So God knows what's going to happen 14 years from now, right? So this is about scrubbing you head to toe. Not only literally cleaning out the closets, the spider webs, the cobwebs, whatever, but this is cleansing your body, your mind, your soul, your structure, your cells. Like think of a little scrubby in every single one of your cells in your human body right now. Neptune's going to be working with you under the surface for many years of just getting clean, getting true to who you are, Taurus, before he pops into your sign. But again, 14-year transit. You're going to hear me say that over and over again, because this is not just a light switch like, oh, okay, it's over with. No. Like, no. All I know is I'm going to have a lot more wrinkles in like 14 years from now, Taurus. So that's just a joke, by the way, because you are the beauty sign after all. I appreciate all you beautiful Taurians that bring that to the table. But this is such a big spiritual awakening too. So if you're watching this right now and you're like, I don't believe in the higher power, I don't believe in divination tools, I don't believe in, you fill in the blank. You know, I mean, if you're watching this video, I don't know, you got to be kind of curious, Taurus. You got to be somewhat curious. But I'm just saying, if you're not, this is really going to strengthen your belief systems. You might even have metaphysical experiences with this transit. If you travel, if you are a global traveler, I think this could bring in big aha moments, big spiritual moments, like putting your hand on the Sphinx. That's kind of what they're showing me. They're showing me things like that, that just touching something from these ancient sites all over the world. And you don't even have to leave your backyard. I mean, I'm in Canada. For those of you in the US, there's such incredible sites all over the US, right? That you can go to, even in Canada, you know, or you can go to one of these vortexes, right? The ley lines, things like that, and absorb that energy in that location. Things like that, they're kind of showing me. I could go on and on and on about stuff like that, but hopefully you kind of catch my drift of spirituality, belief systems, opening up to the divine, working with angels, or whatever your belief system is. It's going to just bust that door wide open for you, Taurus. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Neptune loves being in the 12th house. Like I said, Aries brings a different energy to the table, but regardless, this is your 12th house. If this is your true 12th house, by the way, you know, incredible energy to help you let go of what is not working in your life. You know, it's not making any conjunctions to your planets, placements, points, Taurus, but this is where your birth chart comes in. Wherever Neptune goes, he usually dissolves. He transcends something, right? The seas come in, the seas go out. The seas come in, the seas go out, right? So he's bringing you these gifts and treasures from a awakening or spirituality growth perspective. Maybe this even has something to do with your hidden gifts, talents, and abilities. Something might come to the surface quite literally, and you're like, oh my God, where did that come from? Where did that gift come from, right? This could also be working on those tools, working on those things behind the scenes. So when Neptune comes into your sign, maybe you'll be able to get ready to launch, or it's like you're going to be a brand new you. Like I said, scrubbing the cells, right? Disconnecting from past traumas, past those cords. They're showing me those cords, those connections to past lives. The 12th house is about past lives, past life regression, dreamland, fantasy land. If any of you work in that type of work, it's going to be off the charts, by the way. It's going to be incredible. And if you're just getting started now in your career, it's going to be amazing, because you're going to be able to just tune into that frequency a lot better than anybody else that is having this transit right now, because this is in your 12th house. So if you're interested in that, whether you are doing it like you're the practitioner, or maybe you might lean into that at some point during this 14-year transit as well, like lean into past life regression. It's about cutting those cords. And that's what Neptune is going to help you dissolve what is just not working in your life. So again, you can move forward now with the confidence, the hope, the faith, the belief that the divine spirit, God, the light, whatever, angels has your back, Taurus, and you don't have anything to worry about. Solitude is going to be very important for you as well. Over the next 14 years, rest. If I didn't already say it, keep a dream journal. Speaking of dreamland, keep a dream journal if you are interested or curious, because I think you're going to have some very monumental dreams. They're showing me, like they're saying fundamental, monumental, and prophetic. Am I saying that right? Prediction. So that could be, again, I'm just throwing out examples, Taurus. Take what resonates and leave the rest. But this is amazing transit for you. I think you'll enjoy this transit. Like I said, anything that happened with the transit through Pisces, I feel like you're just going to keep building on that. Or again, now it's time to just fully cut those cords and let that go. Let go of whatever's not working for you in this 11th house, so you can fully embrace a brand new chapter with Neptune moving into your 12th house, Taurus. So anyway, I hope one of those examples resonated with you, Taurus. Otherwise, enjoy this transit, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Gemini, let's talk about Neptune and the new area of life that he is hopping into for you over the next 14 years. So I want you to keep that in mind when I'm rambling on about examples here, because this is such a long transit. So keep it at the back of your mind of what we chat about today, because you just never know what might be coming down the pipe for you over the next 14 years. Now, before I dive into your 11th house, let's back up and talk about where Neptune has been since 2011, 2012. So the top of your sky, Gemini, this is your 10th house of career, status, reputation, your public image, whatever you're known for, the legacy that you want to leave behind. This is about your long-term goals and commitments and plans. This could also be about authority figures in your life. So this could be bosses or parents, you as a parent, Gemini, if you are a parent, but also this is the parental axis in general. So mom, dad, authority figures in your life. And like I said, it could represent bosses or people in leadership, like at the top of the food chain, so to speak. So Gemini, quite literally, I'm going to make this pretty straightforward, simple for those of you that are working. This could have been a disillusionment of a career, of a business, dissolving of something up here that just no longer is working. Now, again, this was a long transit, 13, 14-year transit upstairs in Pisces here in your 10th house. So what melted away? What dissolved? Or maybe what made you confused? And, this would have been a square for you, Gemini, for many, many, many years. So they're also showing me like somebody kind of pulling the wool over your eyes and saying, maybe taking advantage of you, Gemini. Dare I say that? Squares from Neptune can make us vulnerable. And it's not our fault. It's not nobody's fault. That's just what these transits do to us. They open us up energetically, psychologically, emotionally, you name it. And sometimes, let's admit it, right? We all know not everybody out there is they want the best intentions for us, right? So maybe you got taken advantage of, Gemini, in, I'm going to say it could be multiple areas of life, because the big angular houses are extremely impactful to each and every one of us. So if it wasn't career or something to do with retirement, I can definitely see maybe a lot of you moved into retirement, depending on your age. Some of you are just getting ramped up, and some of you maybe moved into retirement and this was the final straw. You're like, no, you retired at some point between 2011, I'm even hearing 2010. So let's go even back to like 2010 all the way to 2025, 2026. But what I was saying about being kind of disillusioned or foggy, this could have been in any relationship, family, friends, business, lovers, on the home front too, because at some point Neptune, if your true midheaven goes through here, Gemini, at some point Neptune would have conjunct your midheaven, which ripples down to your retirement line, your home line, your family, ancestry, whatever the case may be. Gemini, apply this to your life and your circumstances, but something here dissolved, something here went away for your highest good, or it made you more sensitive, right? Maybe you were taken advantage of, maybe you weren't. Everybody is going to experience this energy differently, Gemini. The good news is Neptune is now moving on and away from this area of life. I mean, he is still going to be wrapping something up later on in 2025, early 2026, but then he's permanently in here early 2026. But this is a better aspect to you, Gemini. Also, sorry, let me back up. For those of you that you might have really craved alcohol, the drugs, the whatever that clouds your mind. Yeah, they specifically showed me that for you, Gemini. And I'm not saying this is all of you, but maybe some of you had a little bit too much wine during this transit, or really got into the booze or the drugs or the sex or the rock and roll. Again, you pick your poison. Escapism is big with Neptune squares as well, because we want to escape from reality, escape from the difficulty. And again, it makes us really sensitive. So maybe you were trying to fill that void with something, even if it was food, right? Like I said, pick your poison. Sugar, sweets, chocolate, food, you know, trying to fill that void. So sorry, they just wanted me to back up because they said you missed saying that. So there we go, Gemini. Anyway, moving into your 11th house, what I was going to say is this is now bringing in a sextile. So this is now an opportunity aspect to whatever you're watching for, Gemini, planets, placements, points, whatever. This is about creativity coming in, inspiration coming in from maybe even higher places, you know, divination tools, things like that, I'm thinking. This is about visions coming in. This is about maybe not so much about speaking words. This could be about like painting and artistry and photography and like speaking in almost like symbols, symbology, versus like talking or writing something out. This is also insights coming in from Neptune, from this 11th house. This is about taking action on an opportunity that comes your way, or you can let it pass you by. Like, again, Gemini, this is a 14-year transit. So you're going to have lots of opportunities coming in, and it's up to you what you grasp onto, what is to your greatest benefit. Now, 11th house, where these benefits and gains are going to be coming in from is possibly older siblings. If you do have older siblings, 11th house is your friendship groups, your affiliations, associations. So think unions, professional memberships, sports clubs, whatever you're connected to, Gemini. That could go through some review and revision. And Neptune up here will probably dissolve something or someone. I don't mean quite literally like death, but you're moving, you're evolving, right? So this is about letting friendship circles go that no longer work and welcoming in new people, right? This isn't about being alone, because Neptune, after all, is a collective planet in your house of humanitarian efforts. But this is about welcoming in a new collective perspective, or a new humanitarian effort, or a new collective movement, or again, you fill in the blank, something to do with a group movement that is up for some transition and change over the next, again, several years, Gemini. Also, your role with these groups, associations, affiliations, that will probably change as well. So look at your day-to-day right now with these people, with these connections, whatever you do on a day-to-day basis with these folks, that will probably be up for some revision and change as well. 11th house is also about your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your long-term commitments and goals. So I'm going to say, Gemini, those will probably change as well. And dare I say, they might even take on a spiritual angle or a metaphysical angle if that resonates, you know, with you. And if that doesn't resonate with you, this might surprise you because, you know, Neptune is now starting to set in your chart, so to speak. So metaphysical experiences, spirituality, religion, this is like a bigger, higher movement purpose that's slowly but surely going to be coming into your life, whether you realize it or not, Gemini. And I mean, I think some of you are going to welcome this with open arms, but some of you, you're very analytical and in the mind. You are the mind. You are the sign of I think and the mind. So some of you, you'll be able to lean into this no problem. But some of you might struggle with this transit because you're like, why am I not as sharp as I used to be? Why am I like, what's going on? You know, and I'm not trying to instill fear, Gemini. I'm just trying to get you to think a little bit differently and outside, like not so much linear. Think about something that's non-linear, or think about, like I said earlier in the video, how like Gemini, pin down a cloud. Pin down a piece of air, pin down water, you know, pin down a snowbank. You know, Gemini, that's kind of what I'm trying to get you to kind of lean into. But I'm not here to lecture and, you know, say, go join a cult. No. Like, I mean, take this higher, Gemini. But it's like melding the invisible realm with the tangible realm, which, you know, you partially represent because of that Mercury. You're ruled by Mercury. So this is like all about sharpness of the mind. Neptune is going to dissolve that. Again, my example of the box, they're showing me Neptune is going to round you out, Gemini, at the edges. And trust me, this is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Yeah, one thing I'll quickly say is, like, I'm going through, Neptune is aspecting my Mercury, which is your ruler. And yeah, it's doing wonders to my mind. Like I say, I'm sharp as a marble. So that's kind of what they're showing me, what's going to happen to you. And trust me, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I didn't know what the hell was going on until I dived into astrology. And I'm like, oh, like, that's why I struggle to put words together. I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. Neptune's working on me. So Neptune's going to be working on you, but this is an opportunity aspect to you. No more squares, Gemini. So this is good news coming to you. But again, it's how you utilize this energy. Don't escape from it. Don't run from it. Accept it and be open to even the weird stuff, even the stuff that comes in that's like, oh my God, where did that come from? That's kind of Neptune working on your mind, your sharp mind there, Gemini. Okay, let me see here. 11th house is also about the future and what lifts you up, what lights you up, and what supports you. So that will also be going through a Neptunian twist as well. Now, if you're watching for your sun sign, this is opportunities coming in on the career front for those of you that are still working. If you're not working, again, what do you do 9 to 5? I encourage you to dive into something. Dive into humanitarian efforts, group collective efforts. I think that's going to be important for not only you, but all of us over the next several years. But that's just a recommendation, Gemini. Yeah, I also heard some of you are going to start a business, like you're retired, but you'll start a business. That's amazing too. Amazing too, with Neptune having your back in this 11th house. So sun sign is also your health and vitality. So maybe unique ways to bring in they're kind of showing me, again, this is going to sound like yoga, meditation, like different ways of healing the body, basically. And also I think Uranus, they're telling me Uranus is going to help you with that as well. So for those of you with any health concerns, issues, ailments, Neptune and Uranus is going to help you bring in different ways to heal yourself that they're telling me I can't even articulate right now. So look at that. If it's your moon sign, Gemini, this is about, again, changes on the home front. Could be moving, but I'd have to see your whole chart to see that. I need to see it 3 times in the chart. But something to do with home, your living circumstances, your family, your place of living, where you're from, ancestry. Also mother, like mother, father, authority figures in your life could also be impacted by this Neptunian transit, but in a positive way, because again, this is a sextile. Now, if it's your rising sign, Gemini, this is about how you present yourself to the world. This is how you perceive the world. This is the lenses, the glasses you wear. That, again, Neptune is going to change your lens, change your eyeballs, so to speak, Gemini. It's also how people view you and see you. So you're going to take, like Neptune is going to, again, soften the edges of even how you present yourself to make you look more appealing. Now, I'm not saying you're not appealing, Gemini, but you know what I mean? Neptune is going to change something even about your appearance that's going to make you attractive. If you're a business owner or career, like again, Neptune's going to work with you, not against you in this transit. And let's see here. And yeah, also if it's your rising sign, Gemini, this is going to impact your partnerships too. Let's see here. Yeah, this could be whether you're married or not, or business, take this as is, but this is nice, harmonious energy flowing into your partnership sector. So business, love, friendship circles, which we already talked about anyway. So this is actually a dual aspect, nice energy coming in for friendship circles, people that you're connected with, business contracts, agreements, negotiations, and even marriage. Gemini, I'm going to throw it out there because Neptune is one of the heavy hitters. So it could bring in marriage, but again, I need to see some more aspects here if it is marriage. But otherwise, Gemini, enjoy this transit, beautiful energy coming in for you, and nothing to be scared of or worried about. 14-year 14-year transit. Enjoy, Gemini, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Cancer, let's talk about Neptune and the brand new area of life he will be transiting over the next 14 years. So I just want to be clear, Cancer, everything I'm going to ramble off today, I mean, it will stand the test of time over the next 14 years or so. So long transit, no need to be in a rush or in a hurry to do anything in this area of life, but just always keep it at the back of your skull that these are transitions that will take place very slowly but surely. Some of you will feel this and some of you will not, because Neptunian transits, again, if you watch the first part of my video, very tough to pin down and pinpoint, and sometimes we don't realize them until after the fact. So keep that in mind over the next 14 years or so, Cancer. But first, let's talk about where Neptune has been in the Piscean area of your chart. So actually, Cancer, he's been flowing. Neptune has been flowing to you in a harmonious, beautiful way since 2011, 2012, actually. Now, I'm not saying all of you have had an easy life up to this point, but Neptune definitely has been working with you a lot more harmoniously versus this new transit. This is going to be much more dynamic energy coming towards you from a Neptunian standpoint. So 9th house, let's talk about the 9th house. That's where he has been since 2011, 2012, and he's wrapping up in 2025, 2026 before he permanently moves into a brand new area of your chart. So the 9th house is all about religion, spirituality. And I mean, Neptune loves this, right? He's the epitome of, well, same with Jupiter as well. They both give off that spirituality or religion feel to them. But Neptune is more like intangible. It's more like the invisible, unseen realms, where Jupiter is more tangible and pie in the sky, where Neptune is like this slow, low grumble, like white noise, so to speak, behind the scenes that's just constant, you know? So ninth house is also about higher education. So anything to do with educational pursuits, whatever that means for you, Cancer. Again, this would have been a really long transit. I bet it would have been kind of difficult absorbing anything new, trying to digest new information with Neptune at the top of your sky, unless you were diving into like history, spirituality, religion, anything like that, travel, foreign lands, foreign cultures, things like that. That would have been easier to take in with Neptune at the top of your sky. But I'm just thinking for those of you that were maybe trying to be lawyers or business owners or anything like that, Neptune is kind of tough, right? You can't pin down Neptune at all. Like some of the other planets, they're a little bit more tangible. Neptune is definitely not. So I can see this as a win being at the top of your sky, but also kind of a challenge for those of you that were trying to study something very intense and difficult. Neptune might have been working against you at some times, but hopefully again, Neptune would have brought in the silver lining or the blessings at the end of the day, or maybe helped you disconnect from that busy day-to-day circumstances, whatever you were doing from 2011, 2012 up to this point. Ninth house is also about, as I mentioned, anything to do with foreign lands, foreign cultures, traveling, especially long distance traveling. So Neptune would have brought in a new perspective, a new lens from that standpoint. Ethics, belief systems, probably would have went through some changes over the last several years as well. Dealing with people all over the globe. So for those of you that do have businesses or careers, or again, maybe you just like to travel the world, Neptune would have brought in that beautiful lens and beneficial energy to you over the past, again, over a decade, Neptune has been here. This is also the house, Cancer, of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. So, you know, I'm thinking, did Neptune dissolve the box that you put yourself in? You know, did you explore? Did you break out on your own? Did did something in your life dissolve? And then you had to pivot and create the life you want. Neptune would have gave you that lens and the energy and the spiritual support of having your back so you can move through these big changes, you know, because I can appreciate this definitely maybe helped you with some of the other transits you're experiencing with like Pluto and Saturn and Uranus and things like that in your personal birth chart. Now, Neptune continuing at the top of your sky, moving into this 10th house, Cancer. Now, this is bringing in a square, sort of a tension type of energy. But again, Neptune squares are not like the rest of them. They are, yeah, they're squares, but think of them as like a round square, kind of like what I described at the beginning of the video, because Neptune dissolves Aries sharp edges that Aries can bring out in your career sector. So let's first talk about the 10th house and then move into kind of this square energy that you'll be going through over the next, again, 14 years. So career, reputation, your public image, your status. What I mean by status is going from, say, married to single or vice versa, single to married. Now, I'm not saying all of you are going to get a divorce and all of you are going to separate. So please don't jump to that conclusion. I'll get into examples in a second here of what Neptune could be bringing to the table for you. Again, 14-year transit. 10th house is about your long-term commitments and goals and the legacy that you want to leave behind. This is also about authority figures in your life. So if you work for a company or if you own a company, this would be whoever's in leadership. There could probably likely be changes at the top of the food chain. So this is not only bosses, authority figures, you as a parent, by the way, this is the parental axis, Cancer, and also your parents. If your parents are still with us, mother, father, whoever raised you. Now, if you're not working, again, apply this to your circumstance. Excuse me, what are you known for, Cancer? Do you walk dogs? Do you watch the grandchildren? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? How do you pay your bills? Do you get involved in humanitarian efforts or volunteering? That could be up for some change because, again, this is a very public area of your sky. So whether you're working or not working, Cancer, there's going to be something here that Neptune will mutate. He will dissolve. He will disintegrate in order for you to welcome in something new. But again, it's not going to happen like right now as you're watching this video. This is going to be slow and steady wins the race. Some of you will feel this, and some of you won't even realize this until a decade down the road. And then you reflect back or think back, Cancer. So definitely a softer transit. Like I said, think of Neptune dulling out the corners of anything in your life that's sharp, okay? Because this is a big angular house. So this could impact you, your personal image, your relationships, and also your home life. Some of you could retire. Over the next 14 years, there's definitely going to be some of you that are retiring if you're not already retired, or if you are, again, depends on your age, okay? Regardless, this could be a big, big career shift and change. So for those of you that are like lighting up like a Christmas tree when I say that, that's good news. But again, not quick energy. With Saturn also here at the top of your sky, I don't want to make this about Saturn, but Saturn's going to crystallize something in this area of life. And then Neptune again is going to bring in that spiritual dissolving type of angle so you can create the life that you desire and want. And maybe it's moving into retirement, right? So Cancer, let's talk about what is a square aspect. So square aspects from Neptune can bring in a vulnerability. And again, I'm not going to make that a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just trying to describe what is square energy going to bring in for you in particular. So it's going to make you vulnerable, almost like raw or open, I should say, in this area of life. So again, that 10th house that we talked about. Neptune squares also kind of make us exposed to the elements. So think about, like I'm up in Canada here, and when we have those days where it's like 40 below Celsius, I'm talking about, I don't know what that is Fahrenheit, but I think that's like 10 below Fahrenheit, I think, or something. But anyway, my point is, that's like when I walk outside of my house and it's minus 40 Celsius with that wind chill, it's like, oh my God, I better bundle up, right? You start feeling your nose like going numb, and your ears and your cheeks and stuff like that. That's what I mean about being exposed to the elements, and you don't know what you don't know, right? With these transits. So Cancer, that's what I'm thinking of from your career perspective. There could be a lot of reality checks coming in, but again, for your highest good. This is a good learning mechanism, right? Especially for those of you that are younger, that maybe again wrapped up education or schooling over the past decade. Now you're moving all these energies into career. Well, how does work shape us and transform us, right? Transmute us. This also goes for those of you that are starting a family. This is hitting your parental access. You as a parent, there's something here that's going to change, right? When you have a baby, that's like, okay, no more going out, no more late nights. You know, it's like all about the baby, especially for the first several months, right? For those of you that are parents out there listening. So that's what I mean about being exposed to the elements. You don't know what you don't know. You know, I don't know what the weather is unless I, check my computer, check my phone or whatever. And then you open up the door and you're like, wham. And you're like, okay, shut the door, bundle up, layer up, whatever you want to do, Cancer. And then you can move into this energy. So I hope that kind of makes sense. It is a tension aspect, but again, squares from Neptune are like, they're not quite squares. They're again, think about the edges shaved off. That's what a Neptune square is. So it is a tension aspect. It is going to make you take action in this area of life. Or again, your relationships, your home life, it could really bleed out to all areas of life. Or again, retirement. Apply this to whatever retirement means for you or what you do with retirement. This is about pushing yourself to succeed. So Neptune is not, this is Aries energy, but Neptune is not push shove like Mars is. He'll do this in a more gentle way. So if that makes sense, he's kind of like pushing you to succeed, but in a consistent, gentle way, kind of like that white noise. Sometimes it's going to be jacked up and you're like, it's so loud, it's almost deafening, or it's going to be a low tone and just kind of a low vibration that's constantly going to be with you for 14 years. This is very dynamic energy coming in with Neptune. So it's almost like expect the unexpected, like Uranus would bring in, but this is more like of a spiritual, metaphysical lens. Being in the right place at the right time, Cancer, and putting yourself out there, especially with Neptune at the top of your sky. You can make a lot of progress with your career, but again, there's going to be a lot of lessons learned, depending on your age, of course. This transit could also be about you, again, dynamic energy coming in, Cancer, so it's about you reacting or responding to the events coming into your life in waves. Again, Neptune, the tides come in, the tides go out. The tides come in, they bring you gifts, your talents, abilities, treasures, gold, money, career success, but then it can go out just as quick. So this could also be a lesson about don't hang on to things and don't attach yourself to things too harshly, because Neptune is the planet that can take it away just as quick as he brought it in. Now, I'm not trying to instill fear, Cancer. Please don't take this the wrong way. And again, this is such a long, high-level transit. I'm just giving you some hints or clues to look out for, watch out for. I'm not painting this with a negative brush at all. This is a square energy after all. So this is, at the end of the day, it's going to make you move in this area of life. I don't mean a literal house move. I would have to see your chart for that. But I mean, it's going to bring in some dynamic energy and you're going to have to respond. You just can't sit back when a square comes along, and you'll feel it in your body. You're going to want to change your circumstances. So Cancer, if you're watching for your sun sign, again, this is a double hit with your career, okay? Because the sun represents career, father figures, father-like figures, bosses in our lives, also our health and vitality, Cancer. So also pay attention to your health. There might be some health changes coming down the pipe for you that, again, you need to adapt to. So you get news from a doctor, you got to respond, react to that, clean up the diet, or whatever the thing is. I'm not saying all of you are going to get diagnosed with something, but a square from Neptune, again, could be a manifestation of something in the body that we create, or again, that we signed up for, right? So good transit to start taking care of your health. Same with your rising sign. Similar message there, like, because that's the physical body. So the sun, the health, the well-being, the vitality, and the career could be up, well, will be up for some change for sure. If it's your moon sign, this is about the emotional, intuitive body. Actually, Cancer, if I didn't already say it, yeah, we talked about being vulnerable. Yeah, so sensitive. You know, this could make you really sensitive. If it's your moon sign, not a bad thing. You know, all the water signs are crazy psychic, whether they realize it or not. So Neptune could just make you more intuitive to the other side. So again, think the unseen realm. That's what Neptune brings in. Or again, whatever your belief systems are, spirituality, religion, metaphysical, you fill in the blank. Neptune's going to make you more receptive to that, but also sensitive, more sensitive to that. Also of other people's energy. So be mindful. Don't turn into a sponge, Cancer. I know so many Cancers that absorb everybody else's emotional stuff. You could turn into that during this transit too. You'll be more aware of it. Again, think of it. This is making you vulnerable. This transit's making you vulnerable regardless. So be open. It's like you're a big antenna. You're like, hello to the spiritual realm. I'm open for business. So just be prepared for that and incorporate those shielding mechanisms. Put yourself in a bubble. That's what I do. I put myself in an egg and I freshen up that egg every so many days, depending on who I'm working with, or at least once a week. Freshen up that egg, zip up when you go outside, quite literally. It doesn't have to be -40, but you know what I mean? Energetically zip up if you're going outside, because you might need to just protect your energy a little bit more, Cancer. Also, this could impact your family, right? If you don't believe in that woo-woo stuff, this would be about impacting on the home front, the family front, place of living. It could be a move, but again, I'd have to see that. I'd have to see more signatures in your chart. So I'm looking at a blank chart. So I'd have to see it more than once, basically. If it's your rising sign, this is about how you present yourself to the world. This is how you perceive the world. This is how people see you. It's like the lenses you wear, Cancer. Neptune is going to break that down and almost like change your eyesight, so to speak. of how you view the world and how people view you. Think again your status. This is at the top of your sky. So what you're known for, whether it's the career, retirement, golfing, an ex-lawyer, I don't know, whatever you identify with, Cancer, the home, the family, being a mom, being a dad, that's part of your identity. So that will shift and change over the next 14 years or so. And again, this is making an angle, Cancer, to your love line. I'm going to be honest with you. So I'm not here to instill fear, but you could change partnerships, okay? Neptune dissolves things. Now, he's not coming into contact unless you have Venus up at the top of your sky, but he will give you an opportunity to dissolve a career that's not working, to dissolve a business that's not working, to dissolve a love relationship that's not working, to dissolve a friendship that's not working. You kind of get the hint. I can go on and on here. So again, Neptune saying, here's the energy, Cancer. It's up to you if you want to take advantage of that or not. I'm not saying you got to end your relationship. For those of you, you might end a relationship. That's all I'm saying. Neptune will give you that gift of, okay, here you go. If you're not happy, create the life you want. Call in the partner you want. Call in the business partner you want. Call in whatever you want, basically, Cancer. Otherwise, Cancer, I hope that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect over the next several years. And again, long transit, so pace yourself, Cancer, and give yourself grace. And we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Leo, let's talk about Neptune and the new area of life that he will be moving into over the next 14 years. But first, let's talk about where Neptune has been since 2011-2012, Leo. Now, this is a financial area of life for you. So the Piscean 8th house for you, Leo, definitely a financial house of also shared assets, shared resources. And for you, I'm hearing loud and clear, Leo, this would have been a lesson about standing on your own 2 feet and what that exactly means. Of course, this is going to be different for each and every one of us, because this would have to be your true 8th house as well. But Leo, how has your finances transformed since they're even telling me 2010. Okay, so 2010, 2011, 2012 to now, Leo. You know, that would have been the lesson that Neptune would have been teaching you over the past 14 years or 15 years or so. So the 8th house is a very deep, intense psychological house. So also it could have been about cleaning out the subconscious mind, whatever that means for you, or things coming up from the past, drudging up from the past, and then Neptune would help you dissolve and release those attachments, whatever this could be past life or in this current life that you're living now. So whether it's love, relationships, careers, whatever the case may be, Leo, Neptune would have been helping you dissolve that slowly but surely over the past 14 years. 8th house is big transformational change, Leo. So I feel like they're showing me a lot of you, I'm chuckling here because they showed me like a spotlight. Well, I know Leos like being in the spotlight, but they're also saying like this transformed how you present yourself almost in the spotlight or to the world. You know, that has clearly changed. So I'm thinking of career for those of you that do work. Even if you're retired though, like how has that changed? Not only from a financial lens, but like from a big life, death and rebirth perspective, Leo, because this is also the 8th house of quite literally death, rebirth and regeneration and what that meant for you. It's kind of like finding the divine, like having those aha moments and leaning into something metaphysical or magical or something to do with the unseen realms, Leo. That probably would have found its way to you in some way, shape, or form. Maybe some of you even experienced, like they're showing me paranormal stuff. I have no doubt about that because Neptune brings that lens. Neptune is the definition of the unseen realm, Leo. So how has that impacted you? And now you're going to take that and continue that with Neptune moving into your 9th house. 8th house is also about sexuality, how you relate to sex, what that means to you, deep intimacy with a partner or even with yourself, getting to know yourself better. 8th house is also about fear, power, and control. So again, Neptune might have drudged that up in waves, Leo, like they're kind of showing me that would have came in, like again, tides come in, tides go out. That might have been flowing through your existence again over the past 15 years or so. 8th house is also about your partner's money, Leo. So for those of you that are connected, marriage, love, business, whatever, maybe some of you dissolved the relationship over the past 15 years. Maybe there were hard lessons. Maybe there were, you know, just those tough financial lessons of disillusionment of a marriage, disillusionment of a business, and you got to split the assets with a business partner, a friend, family, inheritances here as well. So Leo, the list goes on. This is about being connected to another person, something to do with money, resources, assets, property, wills, debts, loans, taxes. You know, did money coming in, money going out, money coming in, money going out. Like, did you feel like that? Did your partner feel like that? This would have been ebbs and flows with your partner's finances and resources too. So maybe that drove you nuts, Leo. Anyway, that is the past now. So that's my point. That is the past. Hopefully one of those things, Leo, resonated with you. Now, Neptune is moving into a trine aspect to your planets, placements, points, whatever you're watching for right now, Leo. So beautiful, harmonious energy coming in from Neptune. And this is up in your 9th house. So this is starting to get pretty public, Leo. Over the next, you know, if you think about it, over the next 30 years, is that about right? Almost 30 years, because it takes Neptune about, you know, 14 years to go through a sign. So let's shave that off down to like 25 years. Neptune is going to be at a very public angle of your sky, Leo. So some of you, they're showing me, are going to be in like public standing or public prominence, whatever that means. Like, think leadership roles, business owners, government, like people in high places, Leo, owning a business, running a business, stardom. Like, they're showing me the spotlight's going to be on you, but it's going to be different, right, than we talked about in the 8th house. This is now starting to impact your public image, your status, your reputation, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. 9th house is about religion, spirituality, metaphysical, whatever that means for you. This is the house of the gods, Leo. You could get some really cool downloads, by the way. Book publishing, book writing. I think some of you could channel a book or get a book out there if that resonates with you. That's not for everyone. 9th house is anything to do with higher education, upgrading your skill set, going back to school, going to university, college, whatever the case may be. Maybe some of you are going to become a teacher, mentor, coach over the next 14 years, Leo. Long distance traveling and tripping around, Leo, if you can and if you're able to over the next 14 years, whether it's local or international, I think these experiences that you have when you travel are going to be phenomenal. It's going to be incredible. Especially with Neptune supporting you with this travel, supporting you with these metaphysical journeys. Like, they're showing me a hand on the phoenix, you know, places like that, places of power. Now, I'm not saying you got to go to Egypt and the other side of the world. Like, whether you're in Canada, the US, wherever you're watching this from, there's something in your local environment, right? Think the ley lines, the vortexes, the places of your country, your state, your province, wherever you're living. There's got to be a channel going through there, right? That's what they're showing me, is you don't need to technically leave your place of wherever you are. I'm just saying, if you can, I think that would be more magical, but you don't have to. You know, again, 14-year transit, folks. Put it on your bucket list. Put it on your bucket list, Leo. There we go. Ethics, belief systems definitely will be going through some change. Think of Neptune. He's going to be dissolving or mutating something to do with your belief systems. Anything he comes into contact with, he dissolves, quite literally, but not permanent, right? Like, it comes in as something new. Like, again, the tides come in, the tides go out. 9th house is also anything to do with international matters, like I mentioned, foreign lands, foreign cultures, dealing with people all over the globe. So whether you maybe lean into a career like that, or lean into, I just heard quite literally, the justice system. Did I mention that? Yeah, the 9th house is legal, law, justice system, citizenship, paperwork, immigration. Maybe some of you will become international lawyers or travel around the world and support those people that just don't have a voice. I can definitely see a lot of Leos doing a lot of that because again, Leo represents the heart chakra, right? The heart center. So global, just think big, Leo. I don't know, just think big, go home over the next 14 years. But again, pace yourself and give yourself grace, Leo. You have lots of time. And this is about, Leo, pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, getting out of that box. Neptune is quite literally going to dissolve the box for you. I think that's one of the realities that my guides showed me. If you watched the beginning of my video, I talked about this. One thing that they're definitely showing me for Leos in particular is that box is going to be gone. So whatever that box is in this area of life, Leo, it's going to be gone for good, in a good way, they're saying. Like no more barriers, no more whatever this is, blockages. It's going to be about bringing in that new energy, the energy of the gods, Leo. For those of you in spiritual businesses or religion or anything like that, this is going to be monumental for you, incredible for you. I just encourage you to lean into it. If that's too woo-woo for you, then again, take a step back. Think about learning something new, education, teaching, mentoring, coaching, training, taking it higher, right? Reaching a longer, wider audience, you know, things like that. Also, Leo, I'm going to put it out there, like Neptune upstairs here can also make it, if you're learning anything difficult, give yourself grace, because Neptune in this area of life is great for learning about Neptunian topics, right? So think anything in the past, like history, mythology, anything to do with tarot, astrology, anything mystical, anything magical. Neptune will support you. But for those of you that are like, Stacey, I don't want to do that crap. What are you talking about? It's because Neptune kind of, again, think of the mind. It also rounds out the mind. Like I said, sharp as a marble. I'm sharp as a marble because I'm going through a Neptune transit to my Mercury right now. And it's really helped me. It's tough to focus and laser in on things. That's kind of what they're showing me with this up in the 9th house, is it might be challenging to learn structured things. Like if you're going to school to be a lawyer or an accountant, or like something structured, like a therapist or psychotherapist or whatever, it just might be challenging. So give yourself grace, they're saying. Like pace yourself and give yourself grace, because it might take more energy and effort to learn those topics versus leaning into metaphysical stuff. And I'm not painting one or the other as bad or negative. That's just what they're showing me, Leo. So that's kind of what I want to give you a heads up on. Okay, so let's talk about this trine energy coming in. Creativity, imagination, again, thinking outside the box, pushing yourself outside the box, visions, insights, supportive energy, growth, expansion. This energy, though, too, Leo, they're warning me, is about overindulgence, too. It is a flowing, harmonious trine. So watch the substance abuse, watch the escapism, watch just overindulging. You pick your poison. Food, chocolate, wine, booze, sex, drugs, whatever, Leo. Now, this isn't for all of you. They're just saying to remind you about that, because it is a trine. And trines can actually bring in that kind of stuff, too. It's like boozy woozy type of energy, right? So anyway, nothing to worry about. This is a really nice, beautiful transit for you regardless. If you're watching for your Leo sun, this is about, again, your career, Leo, and incorporating what we spoke about, what we talked about the 9th house, bringing these Neptunian energies into your career in some way, shape, or form. Neptune might dissolve something in your career that's not working and bring in something better, bring in something new that's more divinely connected. This could also be about father figures, nice energy coming into mother or father figures in your life, or bosses as well, if it's your sun sign. Moon sign, this is the emotional body, Leo. This is going to make you a little bit more sensitive to other people, other energies, Neptunian things. Like how am I trying to say it? Like it might make you vulnerable, they're saying. Like you're going to be really psychically open if this is your moon sign. That's kind of what they're saying and showing to me, is the psychic energy is going to uptick, whether you realize it or not. So whether you believe in that kind of stuff or not, that's what they're showing me, because the moon is our intuition, our emotional body, and our feelings as well. It's also about safety and security as well, Leo. Now, if it's your rising sign, this is about how you present yourself to the world. This is the lens you wear. This is how you perceive the world, and also how people perceive you, like first impressions. So they're showing me also, Leo, your image already is quite beautiful. Like there's nothing wrong with the way you look. But Neptune is going to actually make it even more appealing, they're showing me. Because Neptune softens the edges. Like I said, think of that box. Neptune is going to dull and shave off the edges, so to speak. So it's almost like the filters on the phone. That's Neptune. That is Neptune. All those fancy filters we use to cover up the wrinkles and this and that, and the sun blemishes and all that stuff, Leo. So that's kind of what the Neptunian energy is going to bless you with over the next 14 years. Again, there's nothing wrong with the way you look, but that's just kind of what they're showing me and what Neptune brings in if it's your rising sign. Also, if it's your sun sign too, because this is your life force, vitality, good for the health and well-being as well, Leo. If you are struggling with any health issues, I think Neptune will hopefully help you, because this isn't a square or conjunction. This is a trine. So hopefully Neptune will bring in some nice energy for your health and well-being as well, Leo. Let's see here. There was something else I was going to, yes, your relationship sector. So at some point, Neptune is going to make a sextile to your love line. If it's your Leo rising, that means your descendant is through Aquarius somewhere. So Neptune will make a opportunity aspect to your relationship sector. So this is business. Take this as business, love, new friendship circles, whatever the case may be, contracts, agreements, negotiations. Leo, if there's anything not working in this area of life, Neptune is going to bring in the energy, give you the power to dissolve a partnership that's not working, or bring in a new beneficial partnership. And they might have international connections or ties, because again, he's in that ninth house of foreign lands, foreign cultures, foreign shores. This is long distance traveling in general, Leo. Otherwise, enjoy this transit, my friends, and we will see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Virgo, let's talk about Neptune and the new area of life he will be transiting over the next 14 years. So Virgo, please keep that in mind as I'm nattering away here, giving you examples, because this is a long transit. So lots and lots of time for all of this energy to be coming in for you. Now, with that said, let's talk about Neptune opposing your energies, Virgo, since 2011, 2012. So Neptune is wrapping up something in your partnership sector. So Virgo, what dissolved, what disintegrated from a relationship standpoint over the past, decade and beyond? They're even showing me for some of you 2010, 2010 up to this point. So seventh house is all about contracts, agreements, negotiations, marriage, anything legal, anything binding, anything to do with relationships. So this is, this could be about love and marriage, like I mentioned, but this could also be about business, work, friendship circles, people that you're in business with, and also one-to-one connections, Virgo. So I have no doubt, I'm going to throw it out there, I don't know, I could be wrong, but did a relationship dissolve over the past 14 years for you, or approximately? Did a marriage dissolve? Did a business partnership dissolve? Did you change careers? Did you change your life? Like oppositions with Neptune opposing your planets, placements, points, this is quite literally dissolving something in one or multiple areas of life. Because if you've been following me for a while, anything that happens in your first house, your seventh house, your 10th house, your fourth house is big life impacts. Like big, this is like doing a 180 or doing a 360, depending on what else Neptune was doing in your personal birth chart. So something, I'm guessing, would have went away. Again, the tides come in, the tides go out. But now, Virgo, you know, you can kind of breathe a sigh of relief because Neptune is now moving into your 8th house, and he won't be making any direct aspects to you besides an inconjunct, and that is as awkward as it sounds. You know, some of you are going to feel this and some of you won't. But let's talk about that 8th house and what the 8th house could be. Well, this is where you're going to experience some more disillusionment, dissolving. Again, tides coming in, tides going out. Now, this is a financial house for you, Virgo. I don't want to instill fear. I actually just went through this transit, and if anything, I built up my finances better with Neptune in here. Doesn't mean that I didn't lose money or I was foolish with money. And again, it depends on your age. You know, like if you're well into your 50s or 60s or 70s and you're like a billionaire, millionaire, I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you're a young individual or younger, this is just going to build up your resources. This is also a transit. There's many transits like this, but this is one of them that's going to make you stand on your own 2 feet from a financial perspective. So 8th house is a very deep, intense psychological house. So there could be things coming up from the past. This is subconscious, becoming conscious. So if Neptune is bringing anything up, it's meant to be healed in some way, shape, or form, because this is also the house of healing, Virgo. I'm really simplifying that. For some of you, this could be a long process, right? Working with a counselor, working with a therapist, working with a healer, working with somebody that works on the body, right? From an energy standpoint, like Reiki or something like that. This is not a light switch energy. So I'm making it sound simple, but that's just an example of what could be coming up for you over the next 14 years. This is also the house of big life change, because again, it is a financial house, right? So because we live in this 3D reality, unfortunately, money is important to some of us, but I can understand maybe for some of you, money is not important, and maybe spirituality and your belief systems are more important, which Neptune rules and resonates with as well. So this is just going to strengthen your belief system, strengthen that muscle of leaning into the unknown and attracting in like-minded individuals as well. This is the house of death and rebirth. So I'm not saying you're going to die, Virgo. Again, I just went through this and I'm still here as far as I know. I am still here, my friends. So it's nothing to fear. It makes you more connected to source. That's what this transit also did. This transit did so many things for me, but that's one thing they're showing me, is they're showing me how I learned to ground myself in this reality, in this physical reality, and lean into spirit. This is actually when I dived into all this stuff, is when Neptune dived into my 8th house, and astrology found me, and tarot found me, and this is when I started diving into what I'm doing right now. Way back in 2011, 2012 is exactly when I started dabbling in all this stuff, and all these years later, I'm now presenting it to the world as a tool, as a resource that you can use moving forward. So Virgo, take this as something that you're going to find. Something's going to find you, or someone's going to find you. And then you can lean into this energy. I'm just telling you my angle, my experience, because the 8th house could go either way. It's a very deep, intense cycle. This is the house of Scorpio. So you just don't know what you're going to get. It could be the unseen, or it could be something tangible. So again, apply this to your circumstance over the next 14 years. This could be mundane too. This is a mundane house. Taxes, debts, loans, property, investments, shared assets, shared resources, wills, inheritance. This is the house of death and rebirth. So you might be dealing with wills or inheritance over the next 14 years as well. This is also the house of the shadow. So again, incorporating that psychological work. This is also the house of passion, intimacy, sex, what that means for you, what that means for you in a one-to-one relationship. That could be coming up as well. Something could be changing there. This is also the house of fear, power, and control as well, Virgo. So again, things bubbling up. This could go either way. Like I said, I'm just giving you examples. Some of you might feel this and some of you won't. It just depends on how this is hitting your birth chart personally, because at the end of the day, it's not, Neptune can't really see your sun, your rising, your moon. He can kind of see it at an angle, but he's not hitting you dead on, Virgo. So it'll depend on how this is going to manifest in your life, in your existence, and how you want to take this energy as well, Virgo. I just encourage you to lean into it. You're one of the signs similar to Gemini, you know, very analytical, very detail oriented, but lean into it, because Neptune here is trying to, like I mentioned earlier, shave off the corners of the box, right? Trying to round you out in some way, shape, or form, helping you look at something a little bit differently in this area of life. I'm also going to throw it out there. This is your partner's money house. So for those of you that are connected in a marital relationship, a business partnership, if you own a business, run a business, however money comes to you through other sources. So if it's the government, if it's like a spousal support thing, if it's your parents supporting you, that is going to go through some change too. So for example, for those of you married in a committed relationship right now, your partner's finances and resources could go through some ebbs and flows. Again, think of the tides coming in, tides going out, tides coming in, tides going out. So maybe save for a rainy day, Virgo. I'm just going to throw it out there. Again, this isn't you, this is your partner. But see, you're impacted by your partner, right? This could also be a disillusionment of assets, resources, things that you no longer need. So again, do you need 6 properties? Like if you have 6 rental unit properties scattered all over the city, town, state, whatever, wherever you live, do you really need all that? Maybe it's time to start selling things off and investing that money in other ways, and you fill in the blank, right? Because I'm not a financial investor or a financial astrologer, but this is hitting a financial house. So finances are going to go through some review and revision, Virgo, whether this is you or whether this is your partner, but it's going to impact you in some way, shape, or form. But again, I'm not instilling fear here. It's how you utilize this energy. Again, I'm not broke. My ass is not broke, Virgo. So I mean, mind you, I'm not a Virgo. But again, I just went through this. It's fine. If anything, this should build you up and make you more secure in your finances. But I can also see how it could go the other way. If you like to spend the dough, if you like to spend a lot of money and need a lot of those material possessions around you, which is fine. I'm not here to judge. It depends on how you live your lifestyle. That could just go through some changes over the next 14 years. Otherwise, Virgo, I'm going to close it off there. Enjoy this transit, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Libra, let's talk about Neptune and the new area of life he will be shifting, changing, dissolving, and evolving for you over the next 14 years. So Libra, keep that in mind as I'm nattering on here and giving you examples, because this is such a long transit. So it's not a light switch. It's not going to all happen in 2025 or 2026 for that matter. You might feel it depending on where you're at in your relationships, because this will obviously be impacting your relationships, but it's 14 years, Libra. So nothing to panic or worry about. But first, let's backtrack and talk about Neptune moving into Pisces, which is the 6th house for you. Now, the 6th house is a heavy house, Libra, and it's not impacting you directly, because again, I'm looking at a blank chart, so you got to apply this to your personal birth chart. But your 6th house is all about day-to-day duty and support and responsibility. It is the house of service. So whether you're working or not working, maybe some of you retired over the past 14 years. So think back to 2011, 2012, they're even telling me 2010 up to this point. What has changed? What has dissolved? What went away in this area of life? And this is quite literally the house of work, Libra. So I have no doubt maybe some of you changed jobs over and over and over. For those of you that aren't working, this would be changing up humanitarian efforts. Wherever you put forward your focus, your time, your energy, your effort, that probably would have evolved and changed over and over and over again. This is also your house of health, Libra. So I can kind of see how this would be challenging, but also helping you, bringing in the right practitioners, bringing in the right people to help you with your ailments, whatever you are going through. Now, I'm not saying all of you are sick, but I mean, again, this is a health house, and Neptune also rules the invisible stuff we can't see, like little journeys and little bugs that get into our system, you know, like, can you see a cell right now on your hands? No, like that's kind of what Neptune rules, is the stuff we can't see in the body. So I have no doubt, Libra, maybe you had some sort of ups and downs when it came to your health and well-being. Maybe you're one of those. I know I'm one of these folks. I'm not a Libra, but I have a lot of invisible diseases, of invisible illnesses, and I've had them for many, many, many years. And guess what? I got them under a Neptune transit, not Neptune going through my 6th house. It was more so going through, I think, my 1st house, but similar things. It's like, that's what Neptune rules. So maybe that's what you've been dealing with over the past 14 years. And the nice thing is, he is going to be moving out of this house. So I hope you were able to find some healing or some practitioners that were able to help you out with whatever to do with the health and well-being of your body, Libra. This is also the house of health, diet, nutrition, fitness, how you take care of your body. Also, pets and animals are in this area of life as well. This is the workplace. Like I mentioned, this is a work house, but also the work environment, workplace, work atmosphere. That probably went through some change over the past 14 years. Besides the pandemic, I would say even beyond the pandemic or before the pandemic, it probably went through some evolutionary change. 6th house is also day-to-day duty and responsibility. So again, how are you of service to someone? If you're not working, is it a family? Is it a grandchild? Is it a pet? Is it an animal? Is it your parents? Like, who are you in service to? That would have shifted and changed and pivoted over the past 14 years or so. Now, Libra, let's talk about this 7th house. 7th house is pretty straightforward. You rule, you have that flavor of the 7th house. So relationships, all about relationships now, Libra. You know, you're probably like, yay! This is what lights you up from the inside out, Libra, is your connection to another person. Again, depending on what you're watching for, of course, because I heard loud and clear, that's not all Libras. I know. This is where your personal birth chart comes in. So contracts, marriage, agreements, legally binding agreements, the law. There might be even an angle of law or something. I just heard legislature or legislative. Anyway, something to do with the justice system, I just heard as well. Business partnerships. Yes, this is love as well. So this could be love, marriage, business, or if you're in business with a relative, a friend, a family member, an extended family member. This is how you relate one-on-one to people, Libra. So that's going to be up for some disillusionment or some changes or some dissolving, quite literally, over the next 14 years. Now, I say that with all the love in my heart, Libra. I'm not saying all of you are going to get divorced. I'm not saying all of you are going to be alone by the end of this transit. No, this could bring in a partnership. You know, you're going to be moving through this for 14 years. So people are going to come and people are going to go. And I'm not saying it could be your marriage. Like, it could be your marriage, but that has to ring true to you. Like, if you're looking to get out of your marriage, Libra, Neptune's going to help you. But if you're looking to stay in your marriage, that's okay. This is reconnecting with your partner on a spiritual level. For some of you, I just heard Tantra. Try the Tantric stuff. You know, try think of different modalities to incorporate into your relationships. Now, again, if you own a business, run a business, this could also bleed into the career. Change of career. Again, this is business contracts, offer letters, negotiations, renegotiations. Neptune could be helping you in the back end when it comes to renegotiating with an employer, with a business contract. This is a big angular house, Libra. So your 1st house, your 7th house, your 10th house, your 4th house. This could bleed into any area of life, Libra. So career could be up for some change if you want it, because Neptune will be here supporting it. If you want to change your place of living or move or beautify your home or change your home in some way, shape, or form, Neptune can help you do that. If there's anything about your image that you want to change in some way, shape, or form, Neptune's going to help you do that too. So it just depends on how you want to utilize this energy, Libra. I want to be clear again. I'm not trying to instill fear. This is far from a doom and gloom transit. Okay. It's just an opposition. So what an opposition does from Neptune is it dissolves what is not working. So whether you realize it or not, whether you're conscious of it now, if something rings true to you now or not, and that's okay. Again, let's talk in 14 years. When Neptune moves out of here, then you'll see. Again, sometimes we don't, if you watched my earlier part of the video, Neptune, we can't put a pulse on. We can't pin down. Like, try to pin down a snowflake. Try to pin down a glass of water, okay? Pour it on the table and try to contain it, right? Try to pin down air. Like, it's the same thing with this type of energy, right? It kind of comes and it goes. Think of the tides, ebbs and flows, right? So there's going to be some ebbs and flows in your relationships. And I'm not saying it's going to be negative. The tides bring in treasure and gold and everything that you could dream of. But what Neptune is also teaching us is not to hang on to things too tightly, because they could dissolve or change in some way, shape, or form. Oppositions are also manifestation. So again, you could manifest your I hate saying true love. I heard it, but I don't like saying that, because we're not meant to be with one person the rest of our lives. Now, with that said, I can appreciate some of you have probably been married for, I don't know, 40, 50 years or something. But that society, that's kind of going by the wayside. But I'm also thinking of friends, right? We're not meant to have the same friend for 1 billion years. So you could manifest a partnership at this time. Love, business, romance, whatever you want. New friendship circles, whatever you want. Libra. This is a balance, rebalancing. You're very familiar with this because you are the sign of the scales. This is about compromise. Compromising with someone. Think of another, right? Integrating these experiences over the last 14, 15 years that you've learned into now, into your relationships. This is, like we talked about, a separation. Like, oppositions from Neptune can also bring a separation. Think of water, again, scattering all over the place. Water doesn't move like this. Water's all over the place, right? This could also be this will be slow, consistent change in this area of life, Libra. I don't see this area of life for you being the exact same in 14 years. Things will evolve and change. Again, if you're in a marriage, rekindle that flame, rekindle that fire. This is a fire sign after all. Renew the vows over the next 14 years, whatever you want to do, Libra. So, like I said, I hope that does not instill fear, my friends. I'm definitely not here to do that. These are just examples. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you're watching for your sun sign, this is about your career. So again, good news. If you want to change your career, pivot in the career world, Neptune's going to help you do that. If it's your moon sign, this is about something to do with home, family, foundation, maybe your place of living. I'd have to see that 3 times in the chart, but the possibility is there, especially if your IC, your true IC goes through Capricorn. It's a possibility. Emotional body, you might become more sensitive, by the way, to other people's energies, Libra. So I'm just going to put that out there. Again, nothing negative. You're just going to be more sensitive to other people because Neptune is working on you from that angle. Plus, if it's your moon, this is your emotional body, security, comfort zone, things like that. And if it's your rising sign, like I mentioned, change of identity. How you present yourself to the world. So this could be tied into career, your status, your reputation, the legacy you want to leave behind, how you perceive the world. It's the lenses, the glasses you wear, and how people see you, for example. So that's also going to change. And if this is your rising sign, it's going to hit your love line. So again, this could be a partnership coming in if you're single. Actually, if you are single, I'd be surprised if you're still single after this transit, because this should bring in a partnership. Again, I'd have to see the rest of your chart to confirm that, but at some point, Neptune's going to make a contact with your descendants. So this could bring in a marital partnership, or dissolve a partnership if that's what you want, Libra. Just bringing in general new people into your love life, your romantic life, business, clients. This is also your clients, by the way. If you own a business, run a business, 7th houses are clients, the people who find their way to us. So you're going to be attracting in a brand new, almost like a new walk of life, they're telling me. Like new people, new experiences are going to be flowing into your life, Libra. Slow and steady over the next 14 years. Again, it's not going to happen all in 2025, nor in 2026. We're just getting started with this energy, Libra. But otherwise, I think that is about it, my friends. So you are the only sign that's experiencing this from an opposition standpoint. If you know any Virgos, actually, yeah, Libra, if you know any Virgos, chat to them, because they just experienced this from an opposition standpoint as well. So maybe, again, I don't want them to instill fear in you, but just maybe hear them out and hear what kind of experiences they went through over the past 14 years or so. Again, you don't have to. And again, it doesn't mean the exact same things are going to happen, because everyone's birth chart is completely different. Even twins, if you're a twin, your birth charts are different. Yes, believe it or not, they are a little bit different. So Libra, enjoy this transit. I will see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Scorpio, let's talk about Neptune and the new area of life he will be activating for you over the next 14 years. So please keep that at the back of your mind as I'm yakking on here about examples, because this is not a light switch. It's not all going to happen in 2025, 2026. So please keep that in mind. A super long transit, anything can happen. And sometimes Neptune, actually, you're one of the folks that I don't even know if you'll feel this, right? Well, it's in a prominent area of life. So, I mean, I think you will, but it's not like Neptune's not making any direct aspects to your Scorpio placements, whatever you're watching for right now. But again, it's a very heavy, prominent area of life. But first, let's back up. Neptune has been in your 5th house since 2011, 2012, wrapping up a bigger cycle in this area of life. So what is the 5th house? This is where he's been pouring in harmonious flowing energy into this area of life for you, Scorpio. So actually, lucky you. You and Cancer have had this beautiful energy coming in from Neptune since, again, like 2011, 2012. They're even showing me going back to even 2010. But anyway, 5th house is all about children. Whether you started a family, you already have a family, but obviously your children are grown now. And this would have, I hope, helped your children, or again, this might have made your kids a little bit maybe confused or disillusioned when it came to, depending on their age, of course, but I'm thinking like younger children going to school, they might have struggled with that, or they might have really thrived with that, especially in the arts, something to do with art, music, things like that. It's like their gifts coming forward with Neptune in that 5th house. So whether you have young kids or old kids, I'm an old kid, I guess. But yeah, regardless of the age of your children is what I'm trying to say, Scorpio. This is also your grandchildren. This would have given them an artistic vibe, a creative energy coming in and blessing their lives and bringing it, maybe even spirituality for them, right? Maybe you got a kid that's into the woo-woo stuff, you know, like nothing wrong with that. That's what Neptune brings in. He's the unseen. He's spirituality. He's fantasy, dreamland. He's the epitome of creativity and music and the arts, you know, dance, things like that, Scorpio. 5th house is also about love affairs, Scorpio. So were there changes, challenges, upheavals, you know, a relationship dissolving, a new relationship coming in? That could have been possible over the past 14 years. Again, I'm just throwing out examples, Scorpio. This is also your sex life too. You know, sexuality, romance, dating, fun, flirty energy. The 5th house is beautiful energy as it is. Plus it's making a trine to you, Scorpio. So hopefully you would have absorbed that up. I can also see, you know, maybe pick your poison. Neptune is also escapism, right? Like getting addicted to sex, drugs, alcohol, rock and roll, chocolate, you name it, whatever you want. They just said romanticizing your partner. That could have been a big thing over the past 14 years. So again, pick your poison. I'm not here to judge. Neptune does that to all of us regardless where he goes. He makes us intoxicated, almost like addicted to something. So, and you, Scorpio, this could have been gambling, something to do with money, entertainment, stuff like that. But I mean, again, I'm not here to judge. It is what it is. I hope you had a good time, Scorpio, because now he's moving on into a new area of life. Fifth house is also about, kind of already mentioned this, but like hobbies, creativity, self-expression. Did you lean into a new creative project, hobby? Did you get a side hustle up and running? This is the house of your passions, what you're passionate about, what lights you up. So this could have even tied into your career, right? Maybe you had a career change over the past 14 years, again, leaning into something that you're more passionate about. So I can definitely see how this would weave into your career or a hobby. Maybe your hobby's changed. Maybe you're into one thing, and then this transit, by the time this transit's done, you're into something totally different. Maybe even a spiritual angle to it, Scorpio. Okay, so that was the fifth house. That's where he's wrapping up a bigger cycle. Now your sixth house. This is, I'm going to be honest with you, Scorpio, this is a heavier house. Day-to-day duty, responsibility, your health and well-being, your vitality, how you're taking care of the physical body. So Scorpio, I'm going to lay it out there right now. Please take care of your health and well-being. Depending on your age, depending on what you've gone through. I don't have your personal birth chart, but please start paying attention to the signs that your body is giving you. Because Neptune here rules the invisible stuff that we can't see inside of our bodies, unless you're gifted and you can like see inside your body. You never know. I actually know some people that are like that where I live, and they actually can see through the body. I don't know if they're Scorpios or not, but anyway, just take care of yourself, okay? Because this can bring in invisible sicknesses. I don't know how else to say it. Like invisible diseases, like things that doctors can't figure out, you know, those things that the doctors can't figure out. And all they do is like put you on 600 pills. So I don't want to sound like a mother hen, and I also don't want to instill fear. I live with these every day, Scorpio. That's why, like, when I see transits like that, I can't help but say something, because I live with invisible diseases every day. And you would never know that. Talking to me, looking at me, you would never know that. But I have invisible diseases, but that's because Neptune is very prominent in my chart. So I can't help but speak up. You know, it's my duty, I feel like, to speak up and say something. So now you're aware. So take care of yourself during this transit. Don't ignore the signs your body is trying to tell you. Get multiple opinions. Like, doctors could never figure me out. Like, this is what I laugh about to this day. I've had my issues for like, I don't know, 20 years now. And they still can't figure me out. And they still want to pop me full of pills and crap. And I'm like, this is stupid. You know, like, again, I'm not a doctor, and I apologize for venting, but it does remind me of that, you know. So get a second opinion. And sometimes it's not about doctors, it's getting an opinion from naturopathic doctors, chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage, reflexology, energy healers. Like, Scorpio, I could go on and on and on. But you do whatever you want to do. I'm throwing out examples. What resonates, great. What doesn't resonate, push to the side. And also, if you are a physician, I'm not crapping on physicians, by the way. It's just that they have a difficult time saying, I don't know. I don't know what is wrong with you. So here's a prescription that's going to get you addicted, that's going to make you gain weight, that's going to make your eyesight go cross-eyed. Like, it's going to make your hair fall out. But, you know, here's a bunch of pills, right? I really hope that changes over the next several years. But anyway, Scorpio, I'll get off my soapbox here. That's just something I'm passionate about. And I want to put the power in the people's hands. Not so much in the professionals' hands that are afraid to say, I don't know, right? But here's a prescription. Okay, Scorpio, if that doesn't resonate, this is your work house. So work is going to kind of like go through some ebbs and flows and changes. And again, Neptune dissolves wherever he goes, but he doesn't dissolve for the bad. Like what is meant for you, Scorpio, will stay with you. Okay, so keep that in mind. Neptune's not going to take away anything that's working in your life. He's going to take away what's not working in your life. So for those of you working, this could bring in a new career. I just heard service. Yes, this is the house of being of service to something, someone, people, places, things. If you're not working, what do you want to be in service for? Scorpio, you know, I do encourage you to dive into humanitarian efforts. Pluto and Aquarius, this is going to be so important for all of us. To lean into group affiliations, group associations, and doing things as a group. I think that's the movement we're in right now, and we're just getting started. Like we're just scratching the surface on that. Let's see here. Sixth house is also about if you own any rental properties, you might be selling them off in the next 14 years, or you might be, that might be an idea. You know, that might be something you'll consider. Somebody approaches you, a family member, a friend, a loved one, and you know, buy a big block of buildings or a campground or an apartment building or something like that. You know, sixth house is also rental agreements or rental properties as well. The workplace, Scorpio, is probably going to go through some change. So whether you own a business, run a business, work for an employer, or someone, this would be changes in the environment, changes in the culture, changes in the atmosphere, just changes. I mean, it is a 14-year transit after all. I mean, nowadays people staying in the same job for 14 years is very rare. I find people jump around every couple years, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the way society is now. It's like moving on to the next thing. So definitely your work is going to go through a renovation, a huge renovation over the next 14 years. This is also your house of day-to-day duty, responsibility. Again, habits, routines, health, diet, fitness, how you're taking care of yourself. Neptune here again is going to be bringing these things to your attention in some way, shape, or form and changing it. Like quite literally your routine now, Scorpio, is definitely going to be changing and evolving over the next 5 years, let alone the next decade and beyond. Also, this is the house of your pets. So Scorpio, you know, if you don't have pets, you might be welcoming in pets. You might actually have a spiritual connection to pets. Hey, maybe some of you will start talking to pets. You'll be like a animal communicator or working with animals, you know, from a spiritual angle or a metaphysical angle or a literal angle. You know, this could be veterinary stuff. But yeah, this is the house of animals and pets. So you could be incorporating that into your lifestyle or routine in some way, shape, or form. Again, taking on pets coming in, pets going out. Again, it's a 14-year transit, Scorpio. But if you do work with animals, this can be a blessing in disguise. This can be, again, all I'm hearing is a spiritual connection to animals. Some of you are really going to find that over the next several years. Otherwise, Scorpio, that is about it. Because like I said, Neptune is not aspecting you. This is where your personal birth chart comes in. But as I'm looking at this blank chart, he can kind of see your planets, but not really. So it's called an inconjunct. And that's as weird as it sounds. So the energy might be just awkward at times. But again, that's change. That's just Neptune coming in and helping you dissolve change. Also, Scorpio, I think Neptune is the planet of spirituality. So I think he's also going to bring in that angle for you from a work perspective or how you are of service if you don't work or if you retire during this time. Heed the call. Whatever you're being called to do or change when it comes to being of service. Again, whether you're working or not working, who are you in service to, and lean into that call. Because this could be a higher purpose coming in for you as well over the next 14 years, Scorpio. Otherwise, enjoy this transit, my friends, and we will see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Sagittarius, let's talk about Neptune and the new area of life that he will be working you with or working on for you over the next 14 years. So keep that in mind, Sag, when I'm talking about this. I'm going to ramble through some examples. This is such a long transit, okay? Similar to a Pluto transit. It's not going to happen overnight. Some of you will feel this, some of you won't. This is a trine to your energy or your planet's placements point, Sag. So again, think of it as white noise. You know, sometimes the dial is going to get turned up and sometimes the dial is going to get turned down, and some of you might not even realize it, feel this until after the transit. Then you'll be like, wow, look how much has changed over the past, decade or so. But let's talk about where Neptune has been since 2011, 2012, even think back to 2010. Neptune has been slowly but surely changing something in your home sector, Sag. So what is the fourth house? This is all about home, family, your place of living, quite literally the structures of your home, your experiences with place of living, ancestry, your connection to mother, father. I also just heard grandparents or ancestry. You as a parent as well, Sag, because this would have been hitting the parental access for you as well. This is the past. This is retirement. So maybe some of you moved into retirement, happily moved into retirement over the past 14 years, or maybe you are wrapping that up. Because again, we're still, depending on when you're watching this video, I'm recording this in early 2025. He's not permanently moving out of this area of life for you until early 2026. So maybe some of you are still dabbling and walking between the worlds of what does retirement mean for you and where do you want to live, basically. You are the global warrior sign after all, Sag. So it doesn't mean you need to retire where you are right now. Maybe you're thinking of moving across the world, right? So Neptune at the bottom of your sky would have been dissolving or changing your living circumstances. Or again, out of those examples I mentioned, changes, challenges coming in. You did have a square, like all the mutable signs had this energy as, well, not all of them, but you and Gemini had this as a square. Virgo had this as an opposition. But regardless, the squares are not the easiest energy to work with, right? Like squares from Neptune are definitely a different feeling than, say, squares from Saturn, but they're still squares. They still make you take action, like they make you act on something or someone, or they dissolve altogether. Neptune could have dissolved a home or living situation, and I hope brought you in something better, because that's what Neptune does, is he dissolves what doesn't work. He doesn't dissolve what is actually working. He dissolves what is not working and then brings you in something new and different. And if you're saying to yourself, well, no, this entire transit was a hellhole and I'm still not where I want to be. Again, as I'm recording this, you still have 2025 and 2026 to change your circumstances, Sag. So he's not quite done with you yet, especially if you have any late degree Sagittarius placements. He's squaring you dead on as I'm speaking right now. So he could still be working with you and melding and trying to line up the stars and bring in something for you in this area of life, Sag. Did some of you experience water damage or a gas leak or something like that with regards to the foundations of your home, whether you live in a condo building, an apartment, a detached home, whatever your living circumstances? Did you experience upheaval when it comes to quite literally water coming into the home? You know, whether it's a pipe, a leaky roof, something to do with your gas, if natural gas is part of the home or the structures of the building. Did you experience something along those lines while Neptune was transiting literally the foundation of your sky, Sag? But anyway, let's move on, because Neptune now is moving into a beautiful, harmonious, flowing energy into your planet's placements points. Also, did I mention? Yes, I think I mentioned, sorry. The fourth house, you as a parent. Something to do with you as a parent could have changed, or something to do with your parents could have changed, because this is a parental axis. I think I did mention that, but I'm going to repeat myself. So Sag, Neptune moving into the fifth house. obviously a fire energy mixing well with your energy. You in Leo now, it's your turns. The last 14 years, Neptune has been blessing Scorpio and Cancer, but now it's the fire signs. Now it's your turn, Leo's turn, to get this beautiful, harmonious energy coming into your life. So, 5th house, all about what lights you up, Sag, from the inside out. This is the area of life where they ask you in school, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? That comes from the 5th house. So it doesn't matter what age you are. If you're working, you're just starting to work, you're just getting out of school, you're retired, it doesn't matter. Now it's time to incorporate what lights you up from the inside out. You could even monetize this too. For those of you looking for a side hustle, you could even monetize whatever comes up during this time. You could bring it into form, especially with Saturn in here. You could crystallize something in this area of life. And again, monetize it if that's what you're interested in, or bring it to the public's eye in some way, shape, or form. 5th house is also your children. So whether you have kids or don't have kids or planning to have kids, Neptune here can make your kids extremely creative. So I'm thinking like dance, the arts, music, singing, speaking, writing, anything to do with the senses. This could really make your kids also very sensitive. If you actually have children during this time, they're going to be extra sensitive as well. Now, if that doesn't ring true, again, this applies to you as well. So if any of that resonates, music, dance, writing, art, any of that stuff could find you as well, Sag. Or maybe it already found you, because again, Neptune hanging out at the final degrees of Pisces can start reverberating into this 5th house as well. But if it hasn't found you yet, Sag, don't worry. This is a long ass transit. So something creative is going to find you. Some sort of spark of life is going to come into your life. And again, it could be through kids or grandkids. Actually, this could be a blessing of grandkids coming into your life as well. And if they do come in, again, they're going to be sensitive. They might be a little bit, dare I say, psychic, but they're going to have a very incredible creative streak to them. They're going to be just unique, like stand apart from the pack. 5th house is also romance and dating, Sag. So if you are single and looking, for playmate, play dates, whatever you want to call it, Neptune can definitely ramp that up in this area of life. I'm going to warn you though, you could get really addicted to that. Okay. So, because again, wherever Neptune goes, it intoxicates us. It makes us like, this is where we got the rose colored glasses on, right? So I'm not here to make, Debbie Downer, whatever. Sag, you do you. If you want to go plow the back 40, you do that. I'm not here to stop you. But Neptune's also addictions, right? So you could get addicted to sex, to dating multiple people at the same time, to if dating doesn't resonate, this is pick your poison, okay? Drugs, alcohol, stimulants, anything. Because at the end of the day, this is a harmonious flowing energy into you and Leo. I think I said this to Leo too, like be mindful of substance use and substance abuse. And for you, this is in a sexual house, right? And this isn't the deep, passionate sex. This is like fun, flirty sex. So I'm not, too worried, Sag, but again, this is a 14-year transit and lots can happen in 14 years. And forgive me, I'm not trying to Debbie down it. If you use this transit, Sag, however you want to use it. So I'm just putting the information out there. But beautiful energy for romance, dating, looking for someone new. Again, it's a long transit. So you could definitely bring in a partnership at some point. Neptune is also going to sextile your descendant. If this is your rising sign, it's going to bring in opportunity, again, to date, to possibly bring in marriage or some sort of committed partnership into your life. And you'll have a spiritual connection to these people that come into your life over the next 14 years, whether it's through love or friends or family or whatever, relatives. Like you'll have this spiritual connection. They'll have this feel to them. You'll just feel drawn to them and you can't put your finger on it. That's Neptune bringing these people into your life for a reason. So it casts a wider net than just love. I always like going bigger because it's not all about love. It could be a love for a hobby, a love for animals, a love for whatever lights you up, a love for travel, Sag. I mean, quite literally, if it's your sun sign or your moon sign, my God, you're going to be traveling like big time over the next 14 years. So again, apply this to your circumstance. Yeah, I think we talked about the rest here. Fertility, gambling, hobbies. Again, watch gambling too. That's could be another addiction that you need to watch out for. But again, I'm not here to be your grandmother and crank out at you. Sag, you do you. If you want to party it up, this is the party up transit with Neptune. But this could be like 14 years goes by and you're like, oh my God, I don't even know what happened. And I'm now living in a tent. I'm kidding, Sag. I'm kidding. But it is the rock star transit, okay? This is like the epitome of just losing yourself and going big, going hard, and living the rock star life. Which, hey, I'm okay if you do that too, Sag. At some point this transit's going to end. Also with Saturn in here, might give you some reality checks too. So, okay, Sag, let's talk about if you're watching for your sun sign, this is your career. So all that joy and abundance and creativity and spirituality, giving you that metaphysical, again, connection, lens, whatever you want to call it, into your career sector, or also male figures, father figures in your life as well. This could be benefits coming in to him as well. Your vitality, your life force, like Neptune hopefully will help you with that. Again, I'm not saying this is like a free pass to indulge, but it is a trine to your rising sign or the sun sign. So this is also your health, vitality, the body. So Neptune, I'm hoping, will help you with that as well, with the trine aspect. If it's your moon sign, Sag, yeah, again, they're saying loud and clear for you, travel, travel, travel. Again, if you do travel, I think you're going to have incredible experiences. But again, you have lots of time to travel, Sag. If it's your moon sign, this is the emotional body. This could make you more sensitive. Neptune can naturally make you more sensitive, especially if he's aspecting your moon. This is the emotional body. This is your feelings. This is your habits. This is like what makes you feel safe, where you retreat to. So it could be home, could be place of living, or it could be with someone or something. Like again, religion, spirituality, metaphysical stuff. This could also be something to do with the mother, if the mother is still in your life. Nice energy flowing into her as well. But again, as I say that, they're reminding me this could be, depending on the age of your parents, this could also be disorientating. There we go. For mother or father, or again, elders, I'm more so thinking of, because again, Neptune can sometimes play into the mind as well, right? But all in all, nice energy. It's still a nice flowing, harmonious energy as well. Or maybe suddenly you notice your parents are like into spirituality or metaphysical stuff. It could be that as well. If it's your rising sign, Sag, this is about you. This is about how you present yourself to the world, how you perceive the world. It's the lenses, the glasses that we wear. And it's also how people see us as well. So something could be changing there from that perspective if it's your rising sign. And then we talked about if it's your rising sign, that means it's going to aspect your descendant at some point, bringing an opportunity. Again, marriage, excuse me, partnership, marriage, partnership, business partnerships, friendships. Again, no new social circles or groups of people that you hang out with. Could be new contracts, agreements, negotiations, going into business with people. Anything like that, Sag, could be possible over the next 14 years or so. Otherwise, Sag, let me see here. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Did I describe a trine? Trine, creativity, visions, insights, supportive energy coming into you from this fifth house. Growth, expansion. Yeah, I think we talked about that. So, Sag, enjoy this transit, and we will see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Capricorn, let's talk about Neptune and the new area of life he will be transiting over the next 14 years. So please keep that in mind as I'm yakking and nattering on about examples here, Capricorn, because this is such a long transit. So this is not going to happen in 2025, 2026. I mean, it might, but it's definitely just getting started. And of course, depending on when you're watching this video as well. So Capricorn, let's first talk about where Neptune has been since 2011, 2012. So think back to that time. That's how long Neptune has been in your third house and actually bringing you in benefits from this area of life. Or opportunities, I should say. But I mean, it is beneficial energy. So he's been sextiling your planets, placements, points, whatever you're watching for, Capricorn, all the way back starting in 2011, 2012 until now. Especially if you have anything at the late degrees of Capricorn, he's still working with us, right? So again, depending on when you're watching this video, but he'll be moving back and forth over these final degrees of whatever you're watching for, if you have anything at the late degrees of Capricorn. So he's not done with you yet. So the third house, a very busy house, Capricorn. And I don't know about you, I'm a Capricorn rising and a Capricorn moon. This has really changed how I talk and articulate myself. There has been so many times where I can't find the right words. And I feel like spaced out, and I'm thinking, well, what was I going to say? Or, oh, I should have said this, and oh, I should have said that. Like, that's something I really noticed and reflect back on over the past several years. Now, I don't want to say that's a bad thing, because it's definitely made us think outside the box and be more careful and cautious on how we speak. But speaking of that, this is also the area of life of the mind, the lower mind. This is also an education house, Capricorn. So I can see this as being beneficial, but also a hindrance, because if you leaned into anything to do with spirituality, metaphysical, religion, history, anything Neptunian that you were trying to learn, this would have been beneficial. And now Neptune will help you carry this on for the rest of, your life, depending on, what you're watching for and your age. But if you were trying to learn something like sharp to the point, like lawyer, accountant, business stuff, taxes, like something where you needed to pour a lot of focus into, Neptune could have also been a hindrance and made things a little bit foggy and more difficult to retain that information. So I can see it kind of going both ways with Neptune in this third house. Third house is also about transportation. So I have no doubt, Capricorn, you're not driving the same vehicle you were 14 years ago. I remember I bought my new SUV back in 2011, and I literally just sold it. But I mean, there was other stuff happening in my chart here, but I just kind of realized that now is I'm definitely not driving the same vehicle or getting around the same way as I was back then. So again, apply this to your circumstance when it comes to transportation and how you get around. So maybe you walked to work for a decade and now you need to start driving to work, or whatever the case may be. Third house is also siblings, cousins, neighbors, extended family members as well. This is your community, Capricorn, your local. This is about the focus on the local, not so much international focus, but your local environment, your local neighborhood. Third house, Capricorn, is also about social media. Neptune does rule those filters on our phones and photography and movies and things like that. So maybe some of you had a dabbling in some of those things as well. Also, anything creative, Capricorn, for those of you that are writers, bloggers, again, social media, artists, period, Neptune actually would have been beneficial here in your third house, because you would have been able to channel that energy. I'm thinking if you're like a writer or book publisher or an artist, anything to do with pen and paper or something to do with photography, Neptune would have been a blessing here and hopefully expanded your business or expanded you in some way, shape, or form in this area of life. Third house is also internet, social media, short distance travel is what I meant to say. See, yeah, Neptune is still working its wonders on my mind, that's for sure. So Capricorn, with all that said, hopefully something resonated with you there. One of those examples of something that shifted, changed, even your relationships to other people. This is a social house, Capricorn. So like I mentioned, relatives, family members, friends, whoever you're connected to, your community, something might have shifted or changed in this area of life with regards to how you relate to these people. Also, they're showing me, obviously, yeah, different neighborhoods. Maybe some of you moved, changing of neighbors. Maybe some of you stayed put, but had neighbors change out. They're kind of showing me as well. And your siblings might have went through some changes as well, Capricorn, if you do have siblings. Now, enough of that. Let's talk about the fourth house, Capricorn. So, fourth house is all about home, family, roots, ancestry, quite literally your place of living. This is about the past. This is about retirement. For those of you, this could be the final straw and you're like, I am out of here. I am retiring. You know, it doesn't matter what age you are. This could be a shift in career as well, which I'll get into in a second. Parents. Yeah, you as a parent, Capricorn. This is changing something with how you parent or your relationships with your children. This is also the relationships with your parents, if they are still with us, mother, father, or authority figures in your life, Capricorn. This transit is going to be interesting for the Capricorns. I am kind of intrigued about this because Capricorns are so focused on career and status and the legacy that we want to leave behind and money and resources and material possessions. And I'm not poking fun at you know, I'm a Capricorn, okay? So I get it. But this is really going to focus in on the home and almost like retracting or retreating away from the public eye, from public status. Again, this could quite change our status, Capricorn, meaning going from you're a prominent person in your community, you're a lawyer, you're an accountant, you're a business owner, you're somebody famous, or you own a whole bunch of properties. That could change over the next 14 years. Again, 14-year transit, Capricorn. And I'm not dooming it. Like, please don't get me wrong. I'm not dooming and glooming this, Capricorn. This is anything Neptune comes into contact with, he's going to dissolve, he's going to mutate, he's going to change in some way, shape, or form. He's not going to take away anything that's working, Capricorn. He's going to take away what's not working. And he's going to bring in something new. Again, think of the tides coming and going, right? Now, let's see here. Capricorn, I'm also going to put it out there. For those of you, well, I think there's going to be a lot of Capricorns moving. If your IC runs through Aries and your midheaven goes through Libra, again, this is hitting a big angle of your chart, Capricorn. So all areas of life could go through a transition here. Your career, your relationships, your home life, and something to do with your identity. But for those of you that are moving, this could be buying a new home, building a new home. This is definitely something to do with property. New property coming in, or you dissolving property, you selling property. If you own rental property, you could be selling that off, or again, changing hands in the business. For those of you buying a new home, building a new home, whatever the case may be, Capricorn, I'm just going to say it. This isn't for all of you, okay? This is not for all of you, so I want to be clear. If you're buying a house, building a house, please double, triple check the foundation that the home is being built on. Double check that, because Neptune rules water. Just like Saturn. I might have said this in my Saturn video too. Saturn and Neptune down here can quite literally put your focus on the foundations of the home. So just make sure it's being built properly, Capricorn. If you are a home builder, just, how do I say this? Like, you know how we kind of get lackadaisy and we're like, I know that stuff. I can build a house in my sleep. This isn't the time to do that. This is the time to make sure the foundation's solid. If you're building on sand, make sure you put in the proper platforms, right? If you're digging a basement, make sure it's done properly. The cement is being poured properly, because quite literally Neptune could be water issues in the home. Saturn could be like something to do with the foundation, like the cement crumbling or cracking, or depending on the foundation, or gas, something to do with like gas. If your home is heated by gas, but even beyond that, like if you heat your home with wood or propane, or oil, I don't even know how else to heat home. The what do you call that, where you pull the energy up through the earth? Yeah, forgive me. I'm not clearly a home builder, people, so like take it easy on me. What I'm saying is, however you heat and cool your home, pay attention to that. Now is not the time to say, that's fine, let's cut corn. Capricorn, not a time to do that, okay? Does that apply to all of you? Nope, absolutely not, because this has to be your true fourth house. This has to be your IC going through here. So again, this is where I need you to pull out your own birth chart if you know your birth chart. And again, I'm just mentioning it, Capricorn. I'm a homeowner, so I'm definitely going to be mindful of these kind of things now, because quite literally, yeah, Neptune rules invisible stuff. So like gas, he rules water. Saturn rules the foundations of the body and also our homes as well. So just my 2 cents there. Anyway, let's see here. What else should we talk about? Yeah, Neptune squaring you, Capricorn, for the next 14 years. So let's talk about that. What is a square from Neptune? By the way, a square from Neptune is not the same energy as a square from Saturn or a square from Pluto or Mars for that matter. Neptune, again, it can be it sneaks up on you, right? And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Neptune rounds out the corners. Okay, so square is not really a square to your Capricornian planets, placements, points. But what Neptune can do is make you vulnerable, make you more sensitive, make you more exposed to the elements. So I'll give you a quick example. I live up in Canada. We just had a wicked cold snap here. Mind you, depending on when you're watching this might not make sense. But anyway, pretend it's wintertime-ish. I go outside, it's like 40 below Celsius, and it hits me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, oh my God, I can't go out with just a sweater. I need to layer up. I need to protect my nose. I can't feel my nose, my ears, my chin, whatever. So that's what Neptune can kind of do to us. Now, because it kind of makes us foggy. This is a square after all. So we don't know what we don't know, Capricorn. Sometimes we don't know what we're walking into, like a family matter, a domestic event, whatever the case may be, dealing with a child, especially if you're a new parent, by the way. This is sort of like, we don't know what we don't know. So all we can do is prepare. All we can do is kind of like have our antenna up, and that's the best we can do, because sometimes Neptune's invisible. It's the invisible realm. So it can expose us to stuff like that. It can make us more vulnerable. Is it a bad thing? It depends on how you use this energy, right? I think, Capricorn, this can make you more sensitive to, say, the health and well-being of the body, vitality. Again, you don't know what you don't know. You're building a house, and then you find out one corner of the house, it leaks or something. Then you got to get back in touch with the contractor. Again, it's just a vulnerable spot, right? I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just a part of the process, part of the lessons that we put in our back pockets, Capricorn. So again, I'm not trying to instill fear. I'm just giving you examples. This is not going to resonate with each and every one of you. So this is a tension aspect, but again, it's a long-standing aspect. So it's taking action in this area of life. It's pushing yourself to succeed, especially those of you that are in the real estate or property industry. This could be quite successful for you, but it depends on how you utilize the energy, right? This is dynamic energy coming into your Capricornian planets, placements, points. All the angles of your chart are going to get this dynamic energy. So your relationships, your career, and you, quite personally and quite literally. And this is about reacting, Capricorn, or responding to what is coming into your life. So this might not even be about you. This is about being there for a family member, taking care of an elderly mother or father or grandparent or a child. This could be you, again, something to do with that duty, responsibility that we do best, right, Capricorn, and supporting somebody else through this process, right? So this might not be about us. This could be about, well, quite literally family, relatives, like I said, the past, ancestry, the past coming back around. And if it does, Capricorn, it's meant to be. Like what's meant to be is meant to be. And if anything comes up around this time, the past shows up on your doorstep, and you're like, oh my God, then it's there to be dealt with once and for all. And then Neptune will dissolve it, get rid of it, whatever you want to do with this energy, Capricorn. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, what a square type of energy is going to come in when it comes to Neptune. Now, if you're watching for your sun sign, this is definitely changes on the career front, whatever that means for you, or changes with a father figure, boss, you as a leader, Capricorn, you as the head of the household. That could be up for some change over the next, again, 14-year transit here. So it's not going to happen overnight. Did I mention? Yeah, father figures. This could also be changes for them as well. Ego, maybe something to do with the ego, Capricorn, has to kind of die off and dissolve here in order to take the next steps in your career, for example. That's just an example. If it's your moon sign, again, this is very sensitive. Vulnerability is going to be at the forefront here. Security. What does security and home and comfort mean to you, Capricorn? This is like your safe haven. Okay, so that could be up for some change coming in with Neptune. The moon is also the emotional body, your feelings, the habits. Maybe, again, Capricorn, maybe there's a habit you got to kick once and for all. And something to do with mother, right? The moon is, again, if you have a Cap moon, this is double whammy to your home family foundation. Plus, that's what the moon sign represents too. This could also be something to do with your mother. So again, taking care of her, paying it, I don't know, her coming into your life more often, like she is coming into the spotlight. Or again, it could be father if you got your sun in Capricorn as well. So again, they might need you. They might lean on you more, Capricorn, during this transit. Or it could just mean they're going through some changes. That could be a possibility as well. I also just heard this as well, Capricorn. Maybe your parents are moving in with you, or you're moving in with your parents or something. There could be, like, clearly your home life is up for some change, Capricorn. It's never going to be the same after this transit, that's for sure. So definitely transitions on the home front, even with your kids. You know, you could be moving in with a child or a child moving in with you. Maybe not forever, but temporary. Because Neptune's all about temporary, right? He's slow, but I feel like he's more of a temporary type of planet. He's not permanent. Permanent is Saturn, and you're going to get a taste of that. We are going to get a taste of that over the next 3 years, but Neptune's just a different energy. Like nothing is permanent with Neptune. Again, the tides come in, the tides go out. The tides come in, the tides go out. If it's your rising sign, Cap, this is about how you present yourself to the world. Something's going to change here. How you perceive the world, the glasses, the contacts that you wear, Capricorn, that's going to change in some way, shape, or form. How people see you is also going to change. Like your first impression, this might even soften your demeanor. You know, maybe you come off as a hard ass. Most Capricorns do, especially Capricorn risings and moons. So anyway, this could soften and change your appearance, quite literally too. Because Neptune, again, is dissolving something about your image that is no longer working, and it's going to wash that away and bring in something new, like however you want to change your demeanor. Again, he just worked on your speech for the last 14 years. So now it's maybe, excuse me, something to do with your image, your career. This ties into status and what you're known for, Capricorn, as well. Also, how people see you, I think, is going to change as well, Capricorn. So I hope that kind of gives you an idea. Like I said, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer Capricorn. It is what it is. But just know this transit could ripple out to all areas of life, and you could change quite literally not just your home and foundation and place of living, but this could ripple out to multiple areas of life, Capricorn. So enjoy this energy, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Aquarius, let's talk about Neptune and the new area of life he is moving into. Now, before I dive into that, let's talk about where he has been, Aquarius. Since 2011, 2012, he's been restructuring a financial house for you, Aquarius. So anytime I see Neptune moving through second house or eighth house, this is about a transit that's really going to teach you, Aquarius, to stand on your own 2 feet. Now, I don't mean that disrespectfully, okay? I also just went through this transit. So I get it. And when I think back, again, reflect back, where were you? What were you doing 2010, 2011, 2012 to now? Depending on when you're watching this. I'm recording this early 2025. He's still not done in this area of life. He's still wrapping something up. But Aquarius, you know, Neptune in the second house, this is the epitome of the tides coming in, tides going out, money coming in, money going out. So Aquarius, if you feel like your work, your career, your finances have been on a little bit of a roller coaster ride, or again, the tides, that's Neptune. You know, that is Neptune. That is about saving for a rainy day. So now you can take those lessons and take them with you as he moves into your third house. So the second house is pretty straightforward. Your money, your finances, your savings account, your relationship to money, your value systems, what you think in your mind, what is valuable, what's not valuable, material possessions, your income, how you earn a living. So whether you're working or not working. If you're not working, how was it that you earned a living? Did you get money from the government? Do you get disability payments? Do you get spousal support? Are you pulling from your 401k or RSPs? Whatever this is, Aquarius, that would have went through some changes with Neptune transiting this house. Again, you know, 14, 15-year transit. Also, material possessions. You know, Neptune in here is quite famous for dissolving material possessions. So Aquarius, you might have let go of a lot of things, whether it was property, again, cars, planes, trains, automobiles, whatever, rental units, investments, dissolving them. Again, Neptune is very famous for that as well. Now, Aquarius, he's moving into your third house, and this is actually making opportunity aspects to you, Aquarius, over the next 14 years. Again, very slow transit, so please keep that in mind. None of this is going to happen overnight. I mean, it could, but trust me, he's not done with you yet. You know, 2039, let's chat and see how this transit impacted you, Aquarius. But regardless, this is opportunities. This is opportunity coming in. This is creativity coming in. This is visions, insights, inspiration finding you, even from the invisible realms, right? Because Neptune is the unseen planet. This is about taking action on opportunity or letting it pass you by, Aquarius. Because at the end of the day, you don't need to take advantage of everything that comes your way, because, you know, it could make your head spin, right? It might be too overwhelming, because at the end of the day, you have other transits happening in your chart as well. It's not all about Neptune. Sometimes Neptune, we notice the transits and we don't, but I find when we go through a Neptune transit, we don't realize it till the other side of it, and we're like, oh yeah, I kind of was like foggy and for the past decade, and oh, okay, I went through a Neptune transit. You know, again, some of us are tuned into this energy and some of us aren't. It's not right or wrong or bad or right or good or whatever. It is what it is. You know, Neptune is pretty hard to pin down. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, try to pin down water, spray water everywhere and try to like pin it down, you know, or air, right? You're an air sign. Try to pin down air. Try to describe air. try to catch air, right? It's just that's Neptune energy. Very challenging and difficult to pinpoint sometimes. Anyway, let's talk about this third house, Aquarius. This is where Neptune will be not only bringing an opportunity, but maybe dissolving something in this area of life that's just not working anymore. So third house is quite literally the mind, the lower mind, Aquarius. So the logical mind. You might find Neptune here is going to change how you articulate yourself, how you think, how you speak, even how you write. If you're into writing or book publishing or anything like that, Neptune can actually really be beneficial for you during this transit. You could channel a book, Aquarius, and then put it out there, or channel a website, social media, whatever, because this is the internet, social media as well. So having that sort of presence. And Neptune rules also, you know, the filters on our phone. I feel like nobody online now it like shows their real face, right? Because there's all these filters and colors and different things, lenses that we see through life, right? That's quite literally Neptune. So that's going to be amped up for you over the next 14 years. And yeah, I keep hearing for you, Aquarius, AI. Yeah, that could be this area of life as well. I feel like that's going to touch all areas of life. But anyway, third house is also, you know, communication, your speech, learning something new. This is the house of your skills, your talents, your abilities. If you want to lean into spirituality, if you want to lean into metaphysical, astrology, history, any of the Neptunian things, dreamland, past lives, Neptune will, this is amazing for that. Now, I'm not saying if you're trying to go to college or university, it's going to be difficult. I'm just saying certain topics will be easier to lean in to when Neptune is here versus other topics. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying one is good and one is bad. It's just, it is what it is. Transportation could change. So how you get around, Aquarius, could literally change over the next 14 years. This is a very social house. This is a social butterfly house for you, Aquarius. So all about relationships, siblings, cousins, relatives, your local community. That's kind of where the focus is. It can also be international connections as well, but the third house is more local, like your neighborhood, your community, your city, your town, your state, your province, your place of living. That's sort of where you're going to experience these changes. A simple example would be, because this is neighborhood, you might not be moving, but your entire neighborhood could change. Like every single person around you, there could be, slowly but surely over the next 14 years, your neighborhood completely changes, meaning all new families move in, all new people move in, and you have all these new people around you, because this is community. Your community is going to change, Aquarius, and you fill in the blank, whatever community means to you, for you, again, from a social perspective. This is also short distance traveling and trips. So there could be a spiritual lens coming in here, a synchronicity type of lens coming in here, something you're learning about short distance travel. You could be learning more about your local environment, your local community. Yeah, they're kind of showing me like something to do with spreading your wings in your local community. So if you're a business owner, excellent. This is marketing as well, Aquarius. So put yourself out there. If you own a business, run a business, or if you're thinking of leaning into a business, yeah, put yourself online if you haven't already done so, or get a website up and running, or go social media platforms. Pick whatever one and start with one and start building your social base from that perspective. This is blogging, as I mentioned, writing, book publishing, things like that, Aquarius. Like this, anything to do with the expansion of the mind, I think you're going to love this. I think you're going to lean into this because you're such an intellectual sign. Plus you got Pluto powering you up, and you have Uranus powering you up, creating this big kite at the bottom of your sky, Aquarius. So you're just getting started. You're just getting ramped up. This is not going to happen overnight. It's a long transit with all these planets, but that's kind of what they're showing me, is like you're preparing for something big, Aquarius, and they're telling me you don't even realize how big it's going to be. I can't even articulate it. So anyway, Aquarius, just get excited. Get excited. I think this is a wonderful transit. Let me think here. So if it's your sun, if you're watching for your sun, this is about work, career, your life force, your vitality, whatever you do on a day-to-day basis. If you're not working, I encourage you to get involved again in your local community, humanitarian efforts. Anything to do with groups is highly encouraged, especially with Pluto now in Aquarius. This is not only for you, but for all of us. So get involved in local community events, or lean into something that lights you up, learn something new, like new hobbies and things like that. Or for you, Aquarius, anything to do with technology. If you're in tech, the tech field, or anything to do with that, AI, science, astronomy, astrology, space, I could go on and on. Technology, health, oh my God, yeah, it's gonna get, the lid is gonna get blown off, Aquarius. So anyway, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. If it's your sun sign, this is also something to do with maybe father figures in your life as well, opportunities coming in for them, but opportunities for you to grow your career beyond that what you can think about right now. If it's your moon sign, this is again something to do with your place of living, your home. Could be benefits or opportunities coming into mother or female figures in your life. This is about the emotional body. This could make you a little bit more sensitive, Aquarius, not in a negative way. Neptune, again, opens us up and makes us a little bit more vulnerable, compassionate. Nothing wrong with that. This is about habits, safety, security. What brings you comfort is the moon sign, Aquarius. So again, Neptune bringing in opportunities into this moon energy, into the emotional body. If it's your rising sign, Aquarius, this is about how you present yourself to the world is going to change, what you're known for. So this could be career oriented or not. If you're not working, again, apply this to your circumstance. This is how the world perceives you. This is how people see you. And this, Aquarius, yeah, for you, loud and clear, I'm hearing something about your image, right? Plus Pluto will be transforming you inside and out. And then now Neptune is going to bring in that his own lens, and same with Uranus. So again, I could talk about this all day with this kite formation forming, not only for you, but for all of us. But for you, this is quite literally your identity, your physical body. I also heard for some of you healing. So if you need any of that, I think, again, with the advancements, technology, AI, scientific breakthroughs that are going to happen over the next several years. And Aquarius, you could be part of this movement. I think there are going to be a lot of Aquarians in the medical field, in the science field, whatever, even astronomy, outer space, NASA, things like that. You folks are going to help us move into this new energy. Like, it's just, they're showing me it's just bigger than what I can even articulate. I don't even know how to articulate it. I'm just kind of seeing pictures and imagery. So I'm just trying to explain it, Aquarius, if you're wondering what the hell I'm trying to do. But anyway, Aquarius, I hope that kind of gives you an idea of what could be coming down the pipe for you over the next 14 years. Also, at some point, Neptune is going to aspect your descendant. So if you are an Aquarius rising, that means you're a Leo descendant, or that's where your love line is sitting. Neptune could also bring in, could be marriage, could be romance, could be, infusing that flame back in your relationships, Aquarius, in some way, shape, or form, like renewing your vows. This is a lot of fire energy coming in for you after all. Well, fire and air, which feed each other, I should say. So, beautiful energy coming in for business partnerships, love partnerships, future marriage or your current marriage, new friendship circles, like the list goes on, Aquarius. You're pretty fortunate. You got Aquarius, Gemini. Oh my gosh, Uranus. There we go. Third time's a charm. You got Uranus supporting you. You have Neptune supporting you. Yes, Pluto's in your first house. I went through this. I'm a Capricorn rising and a Capricorn moon. You're like, it's not the end of the world, Aquarius. And I don't regret what I went through. Like you're not going to recognize yourself. And this is a power placement. Like, this is so powerful for all you Aquarians out there. But I don't want to get on my soapbox. I do that enough. But just all I'm trying to do is get excited. Be excited. I want people to be excited about this. There's nothing to fear, nothing to doom and gloom. Yeah, this new energy might be challenging for us to kind of initially move into and lean into, but we'll get the hang of it. It's like anything else. It's like learning a new job, learning new technology, leaning into something new. It's not a cakewalk. It's like going back to school when you're like in your 40s and your 50s. It's, you know, it's not easy on day one, right? But once we get used to this energy, we're just going to fly. All of us are going to pick up this energy and fly. Again, a kite. We're going to take off in multiple areas of life, Aquarius. So anyway, enjoy this transit, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Pisces, let's talk about Neptune and the new area of life he is moving into. But first, let's talk about where Neptune has been since 2011, 2012. Well, yes, I'm sure you can guess he's been in your sign for such a long, long time, Pisces. So this is an excellent time to think back, depending on when you're watching this video, of course. So 2025, 2026, think back to 2010, 2011, 2012 to now, or 2025, 2026, because Neptune is not quite done with you yet, especially if you have any planets, placements, points at the late degrees of Pisces. He's still making contact and speaking with your sun, your moon, your rising, whatever you're watching for. So he could be still dissolving and getting rid of gunk and junk in your life that is not, you don't need anymore, Pisces. You don't need this energy anymore. Now Neptune, this is like starting, technically you started a brand new cycle back in 2011, 2012 when he dived into your first house. And now it's kind of like, okay, you cleaned out the closet. He scrubbed all of your little cells from a spiritual, mental, emotional, psychological standpoint. Now it's time to carry that energy, this new energy, with you for the rest of your time here. So yeah, Pisces, your physical appearance, did that change? I mean, yeah, 14 years, we evolve and age as it is, but did you change anything about the way you look? Did you change the physical body? Did you have any surgeries done, for example? Your identity probably went through a shift, and everybody identifies with something, right? Whether it's an object, a material possession, a property, a career, your children, your grandchildren, your volunteer work, your partner. Like there's something that we all identify with. So that would have went through some sort of change or disillusionment or dissolve, quite literally. Like Neptune, maybe, again, tides come in, tides go out. Like Pisces, this is your energy. I shouldn't be, like, if anyone understands this Neptunian energy, it's you, because this is your modern ruler. Traditional ruler is Jupiter, but this is your newest modern ruler. So tides come in, tides go out, right? Neptune teaches us don't get attached to anything. Also Pisces, you know, the Pisces energy that you bring forward also teaches us that as well, that life is fluid. You're a mutable sign. So you're all about letting things go. Or that's what you're here to learn in this lifetime. Maybe that's why you came in as a Pisces sun or rising or moon, is to learn that. Because if you don't resonate with that, depending on your age, maybe that's what you're also here to learn, is don't get too attached to something, someone, a person, place, or thing, because you're here to learn how to embrace that when it comes into your life and then let it go. So that's kind of what Neptune was doing to you as well over the last 14 years, Pisces. This is also your approach to life, you know, that the glasses that you wear, so to speak, that might have went through some evolutionary change. Like if it was your rising sign, this is how you perceive the world, how you present yourself to the world, what you're known for. or how people see you. That could have also went through an evolutionary shift, whatever that means for you, Pisces. Again, it could, anything in the first house, seventh house, 10th house, fourth house. This is going to impact all areas of life. So again, if what I said doesn't resonate, this would have been something to do with your career, something to do with you as a parent, mother, father, authority figures in your life and your connection to them, your home, your roots, your ancestry, or through relationships in love, in business, friends, family, relative. You know, again, you fill in the blank, Pisces, because the first house really, it bleeds out to all areas of life. It's not only about our identity, but it's the connections that we make, the life we create and desire. That starts in that first house. You know, again, the rising sign, the where the horizon was when we were born. You know, that's again how we project ourselves onto the world. So that might have shifted in some way. Now, Neptune moving into your second house. You're probably wondering, now, what is this bringing to my finances? So I'm going to throw it out there right now, Pisces. Neptune hitting a financial house. This is all about, Neptune's going to teach you to stand on your own 2 feet. So it's about independency, whatever. Standing on your own 2 feet and not being reliant or dependent on anyone. Now, again, I'm not trying to instill fear, and this really depends on your age. So I hope you're not watching this when you're like 16 years old, because this might not make sense, you know. But Pisces, how do you earn a living? How does cash flow to you? How do you pay your bills, your taxes, your rent, your mortgage, the gas in your vehicle, the food on your table, the clothes on your back? That is going to be up for some introspection and change over the next 14 years. Again, this transit is very long, Pisces, and I'm not saying you're going to be broke and poor at the end of this transit. I personally went through this, and I'm still kind of going through this from a Placidus house standpoint. You know, it didn't make me broke, okay? If anything, it strengthened my finances. Did I lose money? Yeah. Money went away through a relationship, through a separation of assets. That's how I learned this lesson. But now I am so financially, I'm going to say, strengthened, meaning I make my own money. I'm not relying on anybody, right? Now, I'm not saying you can't rely on a partner. You can't rely on somebody, whoever pays you. So is it the government? Is it alimony? Is it disability? Is it, again, a partner, a parent? Does a parent support you? You know, that I'm just saying is up for some change. Again, I was not broke during this transit. Did I spend a lot of money? I did, because I was quite young when this transit started anyway. But to me, this is one of the best transits from a financial standpoint, because again, it just solidifies things. Also, Pisces, save for a rainy day, because the tides come in, the tides go out. Your finances could feel like that at times, not all the time, but at times. Now, for those of you where the finances doesn't ring a bell and you're like, Stacey, I don't care about that. You know, I'm financially well off. I'm doing fine. What other things could be coming in here? So this is the house of work, quite literally, because again, money and work are tied together. How you earn a living could be going through some changes and restructuring. Work, you might have multiple jobs throughout this transit, Pisces. Or if you own a business, run a business, that's going to go through some transition and change as well. Again, I'm not instilling fear. I want to be very clear here. Again, I went through this. My ass is not broke, Pisces. But I mean, I'm not a gazillionaire. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to get your hopes high here. But trust me, Neptune's going to help you. All these planets help us. Saturn in here can crystallize the life that you want, create the life that you want. Saturn in here is not a bad thing either, but he's just a hard ass, right? Both of these planets in here are going to teach you about money and work just in different ways, right? Neptune is about, being in the right place at the right time when it comes to job offers and work and how you want to change your work, Pisces. If you want to change your business, your work, your career, this is the transit to do it. Because your second house is also your skills, your talents, your abilities. And Neptune is going to help you lean into that, especially the metaphysical stuff. For those of you that are anything to do with healthcare, well-being, taking care of other people, because again, you're the compassionate sign, that spirituality, religion, like lean into that. Neptune's really going to help you here. Also, I heard like hospice, if you work in hospice, hospitals or anything like that, Neptune here can really help you. Lean into that. Because again, this is a spiritual angle here. This is your planet trying to help stabilize you, even though he's a destabilizing planet, like you can't put your finger on him. But he's there to, believe it or not, bring in that stability, but more so once he leaves, right? He likes bringing you in the lessons and then they go out, and then the lessons come in and then they go out. So save for a rainy day, Pisces, that would be my recommendation. This is also your value systems will probably go through some shifts and change. What you value, what you think is important. Again, whether it's religion, spirituality, or physical things, people, places, things, that could go through some change as well. Neptune here, this is about like, buying, selling, but Neptune's more about dissolving, right? Like getting rid of things that just you don't need anymore, Pisces. So if you've got a lot of material possessions, Neptune might help you get rid of things that you just don't need, right? And again, I'm not trying to instill fear. If you're saying to yourself, no, I want to hang on to all my material possessions. Again, what did I mention earlier? Neptune teaches us not to identify with the things that are around us. Not too hard anyway, like don't clench onto them too hard. I'm not saying you're going to lose everything in this transit, Pisces. I didn't. But what left my life was a blessing. When I think about it now, I'm like, thank God, get the hell out of here. People, places, things, even place of living, could happen as well. So it's, again, I look at this as a blessing in disguise. It's just sometimes it can be overwhelming if you're going through other transits, right? This is where your personal birth chart comes in. But that's really about it, Pisces. Like Neptune's not making any aspects to you anymore. Once he's done with you, he's done with you. Unless you have anything in Aries or Libra or Capricorn or Cancer, that's going to change my conversation with you, Pisces. But all in all, not a bad transit. Neptune, again, is just working for your highest good in this area of life and bringing in new work, bringing in new money, new sources of income. Again, it's strange to describe it this way, but he will stabilize you in this area of life. It's just, again, it's 14-year transit. Now, Saturn coming in here at the same time is actually, I'm thinking, kind of nice for you all, because this is like solidifying something right off the hop, because they're coming into a conjunction at the beginning degrees of Aries. So this is actually, you're kind of lucky that Saturn's almost like helping you see through the fog. I mean, yeah, Saturn's going to move through here a lot quicker. He'll be one and done, gone in about 2-3 years in this area of life. But I feel like Saturn's going to almost like set you up for success first. And Saturn's going to be like, okay, here you go. But now you mold it, you meld it, you do whatever you want with it. But here you go. Kind of like what I described in the beginning of the video, the box. That's kind of what my guide showed me, is this 3-dimensional box. And we're all going to meld and mold the box however we need to, right? And for you, Pisces, yeah, I don't think the box will disappear, but I think you're going to like obviously shave off the sharp edges and round it out quite a bit more and utilize it to your benefit, Pisces. So, but all in all, I'm sure some of you have been looking forward to this for years with Neptune and Saturn coming out of your sign. So congratulations, Pisces, you made it. You are stronger for it. You're more spiritual for it. You're more in tuned for it, because again, Neptune is a big psychic antenna as well. So whether you believe in that kind of stuff or not, Pisces, you know, Neptune really worked with you and worked through you, even being of service and how you provide a service to other people. Again, your sun sign, your moon, your rising, whatever you're watching for. Neptune was working through you as well during the past 14 years or so. Otherwise, Pisces, enjoy this transit, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now.